The humidity is
god-awful.
500%. So no power
go
for 24 hours means
Equals
I'm
death.
losing my fucking mind,
Yes.
and I can barely like sitting down to read a book is painful.
Well, you sit naked.
That's
I'm
painful
sure
and
he's-
sticky.
Yeah.
And
Clearly, someone
I
has
have a
never had
feeling-
testicles.
Yeah, I have a feeling I have a feeling my tenants wouldn't necessarily appreciate that. Yeah, it was a boxer day.
Is there a testicles clause in your renter's contract? Because if there's not, it's fair game.
It's not a clause in there, but I feel like it's a known thing. Like, we're pretty loose about it, like walking around your boxers.
Yeah,
is
he is. Oh, sorry.
Well, that's fair. I did sort of tee that one up for you, so I can't really say much.
We're not talking about T's so much as B's.
Whackity schmackity doo.
Dear Lord.
We're getting that out of the way. It becomes an issue in game. This is why we all
My
need to show up
friends.
like 10 minutes early so that we can get all this bullshit out of our system.
What do you mean we?
Let me rephrase that. So
Yeah.
I can get all
That's why we
the
waited.
shit out of my system.
That's why we waited until it was game time. We thought by that point you'd have worked it all out on your own.
No, builds up constantly. There's a it's like the ultimate ability. I have to charge it.
My point
Or,
is, I've
like,
had no internet access, or very limited internet access, or air conditioning, except for when I was in my car. However, my new car is nice.
Yeah, I saw one of those the hatchback kinds. I hadn't seen it. It seemed like the right.
Yeah, I'm really pleased with it. It's pretty sweet. I went to pick up ice to throw into the freezer and the refrigerators. And I was like, oh man, this is so fucking, like, everything, loading the generator into the back of my Civic and everything was fucking easy. But it was a headache in general just to get everything set up. But now we're good.
Why did power outage happen again?
Essentially, my power company fucked up real bad.
Oh.
And they decided to cut service to my house, which they thought was still under the account. Somehow they thought that it was under the account of the previous owner.
So it'd be okay to cut it?
Yeah. So, but I have an account in my name, and they cut it at 2:30 p.m. After 3 p.m., they cannot restore power the same day. Now,
Assholes.
yeah, they cut it at like 2:30. I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, it's probably just an outage, like a local outage. And I was on my way out the door anyway, and I get back and it's still off. And I'm like, fuck, I have to like figure out what the fuck they did. Call around, can't get like a clear. Anyway, it was a huge fucking hassle, but I got it taken care of this morning, and then still took them forever to actually turn the power back on. But once I actually called and complained and forced a customer service representative to connect the dots, worked out.
That really sucks.
Well, could
You
be
were
worse.
actually not the only person I know today that didn't have power, which is weird. There are like 3 or 4 other people that I know in different areas, just like no power. What?
That's weird.
I did
Fucking
have power
Skynet.
today, and I kept my apartment at a comfortable 71 degrees.
Yeah, I had to get under my blanket earlier. It was a little chilly in here.
You guys are just being mean now. Like, I don't know if you realize it.
Yeah, but I
Or
live in
are doing it
Oklahoma,
intentionally,
so
but, like,
complaints about like
it's
hot weather.
legitimately rude.
Yeah,
go
I'm on the
fuck
same
yourself.
vein.
Like,
Yeah, we're in the Midwest where the air literally cooks your face.
I mean,
But, like,
It's
he lives
like
in Baltimore, where the air also
107
literally cooks your face in the
degrees.
summer.
It broils your face. It's sort of it just steams your face, different way. However, I'm gonna say, Walker, that like, I think I'm probably the friend in this group that makes fucking savage over the line jabs the most often. So I consider this like probably well-earned recompense for either that, or it's sort of like a payment in advance for something that I will fuck up at later on down the line.
Or
And that's
inevitably
just-
say.
we're just passing that baton back and forth. Hey, there's a message in here.
Yeah,
It says
someone-
for DARP, but yeah.
Can someone tell me, like, post the actual password? Because my password is actually different than you guys's. You have a Dropbox to that image?
Fuck yeah, I've had this for years.
A, why do you have Dropbox? B, you have a Dropbox of an image of
Yeah.
text.
Uh-huh. Tell me it's not easier.
So many layers.
My mind is literally exploding right now.
B,
At
why did
any
you
time,
cross
you
out
can
the
click-
username? You edited the image to blur out the username.
Uh-huh.
But why the username?
Because that's a universal password.
I mean, I understand. I entirely understand everything from Dark's point of view, and it's also still making my brain
Anybody
explode.
could make their own username and still use that password.
Yes, but if I don't do that, then other people will be stupid and copy only what they see in the picture, and then everyone who
Exactly.
logs in will be named Darpe. Have you not worked in IT ever? Come
Who
on, man.
cares about joining a Mumble server of friends? Who would possibly go through the trouble
of joining this mumble
of
server.
hacking this Mumble server? To what end?
What argument broke up your path? Oh, it was that we started shitting on somebody because of their mumble etiquette.
I'd also
Yeah,
like to
the
point
whole-
out that I made this
the-
image for Tanner like 2 years ago.
The only thing
yeah.
this does is prevent someone from impersonating you in this Mumble server, which is so
Well, it
far
actually
down
doesn't
the
do that.
line.
'Cause
No,
if
the
anyone
whole-
tries to log in with the name Darpe, it actually will not let them.
Okay, fair enough. But my point stands that it prevents someone from seeing his username, which would only be useful if they intended to impersonate him.
Or if they were
And join the
just
Mumble server.
stupidly copying what they saw on the image.
Why would anyone do that? I'm sorry.
I'm just trying to idiot-proof it, man. I don't know what you want me to say.
This is like the best gift ever. This is like when I was in publishing, we had a slush pile, and one time, and we would get unsolicited submissions, and one woman who's I think was a teacher sent us a submission of her poetry. We don't publish poetry. We were an educational publisher. There's no poetry involved. For some reason, this lady submitted. That's question one. Question two, why did she handwrite the poetry out?
She didn't even type it.
She handwrote it out, and then took a photocopy of her handwritten poetry. And then, so already, why? This is too many layers for a submission to a slush pile. Then she decided, instead of sending just the photocopy page, she taped it to paper
Yes!
and then sent that to us. The paper
That's
that
awesome.
she chose to use as the backing was undeveloped photo paper.
What the fuck?
So when we opened it up, it was this white-gray, partially developed photo paper that you use to like literally develop photos in a fucking lab, with a fucking what looked like a serial killer's ransom note taped to it. And that's what we got as a submission of poetry as an educational publisher.
Now,
Testing?
now my work lies in your hands. Please pay attention to my demands.
It was
I
so.
love
That
how
was
that
actually
rhymes.
really good.
That
That
was
was
so
actually
beautiful.
really good off the cuff. You should play a
Um,
bard. God.
You really should,
I've
actually.
seriously been considering it.
You
Your
should.
next character
They're
needs to
fun
be a
as
bard.
fuck, dude. Tell them, man.
They are really
Totally-
fun.
They're
I
super fun.
totally want to make Danny sex bang.
Do it.
Oh, dude. I'll kill all your characters now if you make Danny Sexbang in the next game.
I require recordings of you singing Danny Sexbang songs if you are playing
I will
Danny
perform
Sexbang.
live for you, motherfucker.
Oh my.
Will you sing? Are you singing Sky Hill or are we singing Ninja Sex Party stuff?
A ninja sex party.
I don't know who Danny Sexbang is.
Oh
That
my,
person-
you
Your
sweet
life is
summer
gonna change
child.
After once,
Yeah.
once we get done with this game, which would be nice to start since we've been bullshitting for 20 minutes.
No,
I mean,
Um,
bullshitting
I'm
is
here.
mostly what I play Pathfinder for.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I can get bullshitting anywhere. Like, I like you guys, but you know, it costs money to talk to you.
What?
What?
internet.
You have to pay for
Are you
internet.
calling Mumble?
What?
This is another layer.
Collect call from
So many
Tanner
layers.
Wiseman.
Would like
What?
to join the server. Would you accept the charges?
You said it costs money to talk to us.
I have to pay
Internet.
for electricity.
Well,
And
Electricity costs money.
True.
Internet costs money. That's what I'm talking
well
about.
you're gonna pay for the internet anyway, and were you gonna spend this time on the computer anyway?
No, I wasn't.
Oh.
What? The hell else were you gonna? Why would you do anything else?
The internet exists for its sole purpose, to suck all your life away.
Yeah, I had to go without it for 24 hours. I almost committed suicide. I was like right on the verge.
I wish I had. What was I?
Well, that got dark.
That got really dark. I'm
I
sorry.
can't remember what.
Yeah, we've been there before.
Can't remember what I was talking
Ninja
about
Sex
that
Party.
led into the. Yeah.
Danny Sexbang.
Yeah. I was gonna say that after we get done with this game, your life is going to change, Smitty. So
My life
Because
has
I'm
already
gonna-
changed so much in the past 8 minutes.
I'm gonna bombard you with Ninja Sex Party videos.
It's
Did
been a roller coaster.
Tanner, did you buy their Under the Covers album? Because I've actually got a signed one.
I don't buy music.
I bought their Under the Covers album, the first one anyway.
Lauren bought it and got a signed one.
Close
Well,
enough.
they got. Did you guys get an actual signature from Brian? Because apparently by like copy number 16,000 of hand signing over like 40,000 of them, he started making an angry ninja face.
Yes, I've seen that on his thing
Yeah.
too. But it's angry ninja face and then NB.
Yeah.
I can't remember what she got.
All right. So if you guys are ready to get started, here is a brief summary of what happened last time. I'll let you just sort of mull over that, and if you have any questions, we can revisit that.
I think we picked up like 30 crossbows.
There was 5, I think.
I think we left them all on the side of the road.
I think we decided that Zoo was just going to be our crossbow maiden.
Yeah, she's gonna do the salt fire thing, except with crows.
Actually, well, I don't know. It might be good for her to keep the heavy crossbow.
Well, I think you gave her a crossbow. I forget which
Gave
kind.
her a
Yeah.
masterwork heavy crossbow.
Still
My
blows
only-
my mind that
That was my only ranged option, but the alternative was her throwing her melee weapon all the time. So I was like, well,
Well, why don't
Yeah.
you take one of these crossbows?
yeah, I think I'll take a regular crossbow.
I'll take a crossbow
Speaking of
with
which,
cheese.
is Zoo around or is she? I
yes.
haven't
here.
heard her speak in a while.
She heard. Well, she spoke earlier.
Yeah, she
Your
she
mic-
was.
her mic isn't
but-
working.
Yeah, I thought so.
Mumble gives her all the shit, it seems.
I think
It's,
is it her port?
I don't
on
think
it's
her-
her laptop.
Mumble.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's her laptop.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
There it is.
Nice.
Salutations
You know what it was,
and
dude?
good morrow.
You know what it was?
Mm.
The reason your mic broke is because when you logged in, you didn't say testing, 1, 2, 3 this last
Oh
time.
shit, I didn't, did I?
It's like the first time in 2 months that you haven't.
That's what you. That's how you appease the
Karma.
machine spirit.
Yeah.
It's very important to appease the tech gods, as any technomancer would say.
Mhm.
All praise to the Omniscient.
Yes.
Oh.
That's my appraisal.
Fucking nerds.
So, Doll,
okay.
Hmm?
you said it was you. Going back to that poem earlier, are you sure it wasn't a murderer's note, and you were supposed to develop all that film and then use it to piece together something to find the murder victim?
It was
He said it
actually
was
a
photo
cipher.
paper, not film.
I searched through it as much as I could to find like some sort of hidden nefarious meaning, and I couldn't find any. I'm pretty sure it was a senile old lady who, I think she was just losing it completely.
The worms in my
Oh, what?
head.
Aw.
She's not that dude from fucking Ravengrove.
Oh. The mad?
Yeah, that dude who was just oh yeah, the birds are very
Call
pretty.
in, the worms call out.
The
I don't
bugs
like
play
this.
pinochle on your scalp.
All right.
So,
Can't say with certainty.
Well, that's almost 30 minutes down.
yeah. So you guys had just, I think, dismantled that trap. I don't think you guys got up to much after that.
I think that was sort
Yeah.
of a little postscript thing we did, just because we had an extra 15 minutes ago. We didn't. I don't think we
Yes.
progressed beyond that. We resolved that area, but didn't go further.
Right.
I think you may have camped for the night.
Yes. We were camping and had a little RP moment.
Yeah, we had camped after the Weaver Worm, and Ilix confessed some things,
Oh yeah,
Right.
she did.
such.
It got
Went
deep.
and had a little road encounter.
Yeah, you got Professor Loremore's kid killed, right?
Whoa, what?
Is that what it
No.
was?
No.
No, I got a person killed.
Oh.
Someone,
Bryce or
another
something?
It wasn't.
elf that was in her
Yeah,
community.
yes.
That
Why
was
did
very
I think it was
important to her.
Professor
Yeah,
Loremore's kid?
She said that more, and a way that
Is
was
he breaking up or is it just me?
He's breaking
Breaking
up.
up.
Okay.
every couple seconds. It's
A little bit.
Hmm.
Otherwise, I think we had just identified the gentleman as a dead werewolf, and
Yes.
I figured that this was a trap appeared to be set for anybody that would take him down, and I think we gave him
Yes.
a burial, right?
I'm
Proper burial.
not sure, actually.
I don't have notes
Pretty
of a burial. I think we had just found him, and that was where we left. Like we didn't
You
continue
disarmed the
after.
trap, is what I
I-
have in
Yeah,
my
I
notes.
was taking some crap out of his mouth. It was
I thought the
It was
Farazman
wolf's
said
bane.
taking
yeah.
him
I
down.
could make 3 doses of poison.
Yes.
is this any better?
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would have taken him down to bury him just as a Farazman.
Yeah.
Like that would be my duty.
I
Yes,
would
3.
plant. Well, I would want to plant Wolfsbane on his grave, but that would be rude.
Yeah, I suppose that would still fall within Pharasma's tenets.
I think so. I mean,
Because
he's not. I mean, he's a werewolf. It's still close enough to it was a humanoid of sorts.
As far as I know, lichens aren't necessarily aligned.
They definitely
I'm
are.
not sure. They are.
Yes.
So they're not. Are they all evil, or are they
Yes.
chaotic? All
Really?
lichens are evil.
Yes.
But a player
That's
character
lucky.
can catch lycanthropy.
Yes,
or
and it will change your alignment.
brachycanthropy.
But you don't know that
Is that-
as a character.
Is that just because
enough.
it's an inherently evil creature?
Well, I'm not going to Google it because I have a feeling that we're going to come across one, and I don't want to give myself meta knowledge.
I have a little thing
Well,
in here
I mean-
about Pharasma and werewolves. Let me find it real quick.
I don't know if you saw the same title thing that Dart put up that I did.
Always lawful evil. Wait, no, that's were-rats. Werewolves. Always
don't know what to
chaotic
say.
evil for werewolves.
Close enough.
Werewolf lords are also always chaotic evil.
Where rats?
Where rats are lawful. Which is so weird to me. Why are rats
Did
lawful?
I give you a thing on?
They follow the Great Horned One, of course.
Don't
No.
remember that. You maybe just not share it in our journal?
Yeah.
Is it saved as a cropped
I didn't give you a
screenshot in your
handout.
Dropbox?
What are you talking about, guys? As far as title thing?
Title
what?
thing.
What did?
Oh, this. Over here.
Oh, that's the
Like
chapter
underneath it.
title.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have here. There is a story about the full moon being actually the unblinking eye of the goddess Pharasma, observing all who she inevitably will judge in death. It is said that under her scrutiny, all is revealed for what it truly is, and while righteous retain their forms, the evil are revealed for the beasts they truly are. Thus, there is little sympathy among Ustalav's people for were creatures of any sort, for to them these beings' bestial forms are merely glimpses of the savagery inherent in their hearts.
Huh. But you can catch savagery.
Apparently.
Think of lycanthropy as a disease that makes you go mad.
Well,
It's something that
It
rewrites your
Rewrites
personality.
your personality, makes you
Huh.
evil.
Okay.
As it rewrites your body.
sort of.
Fair
I
enough.
don't want to reveal too much of that because we're not into there yet. Is somebody
Right.
vaping?
Yes.
No.
All right. But I know somebody, I think it was Xenesis that rolled nature or something that determined that there was that dude hanging there was a werewolf.
Is it? That's what I was going to ask. That is werewolf info nature related or?
I would think so. I would think
Okay.
either nature or like arcana, maybe.
Not dungeoneering?
Let
No,
me see.
because they're not monsters.
Yeah.
They're not?
They're shapeshifters.
Arcana is for magical beasts.
They're not quite that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. Monstrous humanoids. Be
Yeah.
nature.
That would be nature.
Animals, fae, monstrous humanoids. So probably nature.
Well, anyway, whoever rolled that would know that there are two types of lycanthropes. There are the kind who inherited their condition and thus have more control over their forms and minds, and there are those that were cursed with lycanthropy, and those people have a much harder time staying in control.
I think it was Ilix who determined that because she has better nature than I do.
I don't know that I may have. I don't specifically recall rolling for a knowledge about lycanthropes.
It was me.
I don't
22.
either.
Okay. Yeah. Because I rolled for the flowers and didn't really get much information.
Oh, that might have been my roll for the flowers. Yeah, because somebody rolled a nat 20 on gardening. That was Plea.
That was me. So I know that they're probably
Wolfsbane.
toxic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your alchemist, I think, identified them as Wolfsbane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're pretty settled on that point.
Oh, your
Yes.
18
Yeah,
knowledge
was
probably was for the werewolf, and your 22 was probably for the flowers.
I think you're right.
So,
Either way.
we know it's a werewolf.
monster
We know there's
lore.
two types. Can we? Would we be able to determine what kind this was?
Probably not. You think that if
Okay.
he had been in one of his wolf forms, that you might have been able to determine a little more easily. But since he's in his human form, he looks like any other human.
Or if we saw him in his human form and we could like judge his behavior because he was acting like weird and erratic. or
Yes.
If he was alive,
you know, yeah,
we might
Well,
have a better
the
time.
things that kind of
Yes.
tip you off
Or
that he's a
a
werewolf
werewolf.
is that he's kind of a hairy person. And
Sounds racist.
his teeth are a little sharp. He has
Well, like-
he has things about his person that make him seem like he was a wolf.
Also,
Yeah.
the fact that he was posed with wolfsbane in his mouth and a
Yes.
silver-tipped dagger in his heart, or not dagger, bolt.
Oh, I think it was a dagger.
It was a dagger.
Silver. Oh, it
Yeah.
was a dagger.
Yeah.
It was. Oh no, was it alchemical silver or was it just regular silver?
I
Might
think
have been
they're the
poisoned.
same, aren't they?
We made they are the same, I think. I think a
It
silver
was
dagger
a
is just
large silver hunting knife.
yeah.
Well, if anyone
Um,
wants a large silver hunting knife,
Well, we already because the joke last time was that we were going to give it to Zoo, who already has
1,000,000 daggers.
1,000,000 daggers, and she
Mhm.
was just gonna every time somebody would disarm her from a dagger, she would pull another dagger out, and she'd do it like 5 times. It's just like, how many fucking daggers do you have?
Well, we can sell it. I'm gonna put it in my backpack.
Realizing, of course, that she's probably just gonna throw the daggers.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
thought that's how you were
That's why
supposed
she
to
has
use
5 of them.
daggers.
There are specific types of knives for throwing.
Mm.
But most
You could make those daggers
most
throwing
knives
and
can
returning.
be thrown.
Yes,
And
you
But
can throw
there
it.
That's
are
true.
also specific ones that are like weighted for throwing.
Mm.
Yes, Jack has throwing knives, so
Yeah, a
that he
dagger-
can throw knives.
A dagger is more of a fighting knife. It's not sword length, but it's not like pocket knife size or like hunting knife size. It's
So
typically a longer blade,
too
than
much
your
Naruto
average.
then. Got it.
Probably.
potentially. So anyway, Ilix is suggesting that we carry on.
Role play it.
Okay. So the rest of your journey through the woods that day is pretty uneventful. So I imagine you guys sit down to camp, and
Would you like me to toss you a sexy survival roll?
that would be baller.
Not my best, but not my worst.
I mean, the checks are not that hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 28.
It's a 28, so
Well, yeah.
Seems pretty good.
seems pretty good to me.
I mean, yeah, the highest DC I have for like survival is like 15.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, pretty sure you annihilated it.
In terms
You
of
can
like
accidentally
finding a
pass that.
campsite or whatever, like you can predict the weather 24 hours in advance. You can keep from getting lost or avoiding natural hazards.
What's the weather going to be like tomorrow?
I'll tell you in a second.
Actually, yeah.
Actually, the highest save I have for survival is a DC 20 tracking over hard ground.
I gotcha. So if I could roll above a 1, I could have tracked those motherfucking spiders from last time
Yeah,
and not gotten fucking lost or whatever.
probably.
I'm still salty about that fucking roll.
It does happen.
Jeez.
You think the weather tomorrow is likely to be cold and perhaps a little rainy.
Yep. Yeah. So we'll find a nice camping spot and get set about making it as warm as possible. Ideally, somewhere that's raised up, but something that's at least covered on one side, or if we need to put up a windbreak
Okay.
of some kind, we can do that.
There is the what is that river called?
Celestrix?
The Boostrel?
Yeah, but
Yep.
Boostrel River. You guys are approaching that probably that night, so I don't know if
Okay.
you. I assume that you would be camping at a far enough distance away. Like where the circle is right now is where you guys are ending, because you guys were up here for the Weaver Worm thing. And
Okay.
you traveled about 20
Gotcha.
miles that day, so you're here-ish,
Okay.
kind of at the entrance to the wood.
Yeah. I
Describe to
know
me
if
your
we-
campsite.
Oh, what a
Uh,
lovely campsite. Are we expecting rain, Ilix?
Awfully
Well, it's likely
prescient.
to be. It's likely to be damp tomorrow. I'd suggest that whatever we can keep dry now will be beneficial for us tomorrow.
Snuggles.
Plea assists in getting leaves to like cover supplies, so that they can stay dry.
For
Does
firewood?
Sorry, what?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was
I-
saying, are we collecting leaves for like fire?
I just explained why I was collecting leaves.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Pay
keep-
attention,
to
Zero.
keep the dew off things. Or condensation of some form.
Condensation and rain
Yeah.
off of things.
Yeah. So if ideally, if we could invest the time, we would want to make something with a little bit of a cover on it. But if we could like find like an overhang or something like that, that'd be really good.
So, was it ever explained to us what Ascanor is?
It's a
Like the-
lodge that you have to be invited to.
Other than that, though, because I mean because now I'm starting to wonder like what the hell we're getting into again. Like,
Yes, it's interesting that the place requires an invitation. I'm not sure that I entirely
Weren't
understand.
we told that the Whispering Way was there, or heading there, and so we're pursuing them?
There, yes, we know why we're going there, but what Ascanor Lodge is itself, I think, is
Yes.
what they're talking
Oh.
about.
Give me a
I don't
knowledge
know.
local. Maybe one of you knows.
Yeah, because
I was under the
maybe I
impression it was
do.
like a resort for rich people in the middle of the
Yeah, that
woods.
was
that
my
probably is.
I got the impression it was like
I have no idea.
like a way stop of some kind, just sort of
Good start
a
on the
place that serviced people that lived in or around the woods. But
Well, as far as we know,
the
the
invitation
only person
part.
we know that was actually invited is Judge Daramid and Count
Karamar.
Karamark.
No, they both have the power to invite people.
Oh,
Ah,
so it's
You
like a
also-
club, maybe.
Just as a reminder from last session, you also found a half blood-stained envelope with the
yeah.
seal of the lodge on it that is marked as an invitation. And it also
weird,
says, void if opened by anyone other than Ascanor Lodge staff.
Some
We
serious
found that out
shit.
after
So
we opened it,
yeah,
or on the front of it.
ideally say on the.
Did you open it?
No, I was wondering if we did open it because I don't remember.
Does
I
it
don't
say
think
it
so.
on the
I don't remember
Okay.
opening
Yeah.
it.
We remember
mean-
getting it. I don't think that we said about examining it. Although, like,
I think you just mentioned it looked like the invitation we have, and we kind of left it at that.
Yeah.
We'll probably just bring it to them and ask them to identify the person.
Watch, they won't. And we're just like, God damn it.
One sec. Be right back.
Maybe.
I'm afraid no one in your
But-
party knows what Ascanor Lodge is.
I sure
Yeah.
won't know. It's untrained for me. Also, sorry about
Where's
the
our
leak
bard?
thing. I was by a microwave, so things were cutting in and out.
yeah, the place is a mystery. Tanner's like getting like a eyes wide shut kind of vibe. Like, are we gonna run into like some kind of like weird orgy thing? I kind of don't think
hope so.
just because this is a pre-gen module.
Bestiality?
I didn't know we were playing
Jesus
Fatal.
Christ. No, not bestiality.
Gotcha.
I mean,
Well-
that's not an unreasonable question in the
I
module
mean,
about
it's-
werewolves. Just saying.
Yeah, it might be like a werewolf harem for people who have the very, very specific fetish of fucking werewolves.
That sounds so fucked up. Why did you put that thought in my mind?
You're welcome.
Where tigers,
Way worse.
point of order, where tigers would be way more fun.
Is DARPA
Well-
furry?
Surprise.
Zoo, you know what to do.
I do, I probably won't though. I got a pretty good photo.
Oh
But-
God.
It was my Halloween costume. I was a
Fat chicka wow wow.
Well,
Did I,
well.
either
Bow
A,
chicka
she
meow
accidentally
meow.
got cut out, Or B, Darp has silenced her himself by running across the house and be like, stop!
Just threw a coffee mug across the room and cracked your
Around
head.
the corner. You just see a coffee mug hit Zeus. Think. She's just out.
Actually, I have a picture of. Oh.
I would love to talk to you guys about the sudden blackmail that a pink.
Anyway.
Okay, so we set up the camp site, ideally with an overhang if we can manage it to keep moisture off things, and got
the 28.
got a nice fire going, and settling in for the evening.
I'm pretty sure we could work that out. The 28 or something of the like.
Yeah.
I'm inspecting the wolfsbane flowers that we found because.
Okay.
1 second. Let me actually look up what aconite looks like.
Well, Ilix is rearranging her silver arrows into a more prominent position within her quiver, given that we've already got strong indication of these creatures around.
Yeah, I'm looking at these flowers and thinking about how I would go about growing them, because I think this might be the first time that I've come across wolfsbane, maybe? I mean, I grew up in East Love, so I don't know how common it is.
I would say in this area it's fairly common. I don't know if where you are from it's common. It is a toxic plant, so I don't know that it would really be in your wheelhouse necessarily.
Well, no, like, since it was identified as a toxic plant, I mean, it's not toxic to touch unless you are a werewolf.
Fair.
It's toxic to ingest if you're not a werewolf, but only in huge doses.
Still handle with care. I think.
I mean,
would
it's
be the...
like people take aconite and they only die, like, suffer serious injuries. Like, it's not actually very toxic to humans. Like, you have to have a lot of it. So I'm examining the flowers to figure out how I would go about growing them, because I'm thinking about growing them.
Okay.
Might be useful.
This Nat 20 gardening. He's milking it for all it's worth.
That's
Of
fair.
course.
Okay, so please studies the flower all night. And I think that you think if you had just fertile ground to cultivate, you could plant. But you'd need the whole plant, not like the flower petals that you have. But you think you could theoretically grow like a little plot of them.
Cool. I'll keep my
Aren't-
eyes peeled for more
Aren't
plants.
real wolfsbane? Aren't they like cupped, like yellow things?
Yep, they're actually kind of pretty. Like, they remind me similar of like a honeydew.
Oh, okay.
Mm,
Oh, they're purple, right?
They're yellow.
Apparently they're purple as well in some places.
In Pathfinder, they're purple.
Mm.
you got photos of
Monks.
purple and yellow.
Yeah, it's called monk's hood or wolfsbane.
Aconite is another name for it, and those flowers are yellow.
And then there's a Cuntium.
Ha.
Cunt.
And monk's hood is purple. That's so weird that they're so different. What the fuck? They're both wolfsbane.
Just a sudden mutation
like-
somewhere.
Aconitum is a genus of over 250 species of flowering plants. So there's probably a lot of variation, according to what I'm looking at least.
Aconite, monk's hood, wolfsbane, leopardsbane, mousebane, women'sbane, devil's helmet, queen of poisons, blue rocket.
I like Blue Rocket. I don't think they'd probably call that in Pathfinder because they don't know what a fucking rocket is, but... Anyway.
It's a little container full of rocks.
I thought it would just be a little rock. A rocket.
I thought it'd be a
just
dancer.
Both are good. I'm sad that nobody
Yeah.
is laughing at our puns, Tanner. High five for yours.
We appreciate each other.
Oh my.
Okay, so
I was about to say that did not sound like a high five.
that was the Todd high five from Scrubs.
Oh yes. The one that makes everyone's hands hurt afterward.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, totally not a whip. Got it.
So, going to sleep, I suppose.
Sure.
I mean, unless we want to role play around the camp, because we can do that.
I'm distracted by a flower, but when it's my turn to take watch, I will take watch.
Okay. Xenesis,
Okay.
what are you doing this evening?
Me? Goodness, she probably, if it's cold, she's probably snuggling up against someone who either is A, accepting it or feels kind of awkward, but since I'm part of the party, can't kick me out.
Please roleplay this out.
That's all that you came on this road trip, like, with this party for, is you want someone to cuddle all the time, and you feel like being in a Pathfinder party.
You want
is the best
someone
I
that
am your
can't
guys'
refuse their
condom.
cuddles. You want to exploit,
Yes.
exploit.
You'll face all the
Your
dangers in the world
necessity.
for a good snug.
Mm-hmm.
You need to
She's
pick
just
who
like,
it is.
yes.
You need to pick who it is. You need to describe this scene to me.
I'd probably be Ilix because she's similar to me looking, even though she's pretty cold and distant.
Racist.
But she's also female and probably the only person I'd really, I don't know, be cozy with. Because it'd be
I-
too awkward
I-
if it was a male.
I understand your reasoning.
I think it might be received in a different light if it was a male.
I think you
Yeah.
should roleplay this out. You should approach Ilix and ask her.
Yeah.
Or
Alex is
just
like,
snuggle next to her without asking and see what
Yeah.
happens. I want to see how Zoo does this.
yeah. Ilix is like sitting sort of crisscross applesauce, running through her equipment. Like I imagine she does very thoroughly at the end of the day, making sure nothing is rusting and nothing's come loose, everything's in order. All the leather's holding up, and so she's sort of inspecting stuff. So she's just kind of sitting there.
Well, Xenesis is dramatically like rubbing her sidearms as though she's really cold. She's, Ilix, I'm gonna sit here, okay? And I sit really, really close to
Feel
her.
free to. Yeah. As long, well, Ilix will notice how close you're sitting, but you're not. I imagine you're not interfering with her gangly arms, so she doesn't she doesn't think that you're doing anything weird or anything.
Whenever you take pauses, my head will rest on your shoulder.
Harpy
The
it?
first time you do it, Ilix like stops moving, like utterly like freezes,
Oh,
and then
are you
like
cold too? We can get closer.
that's not what I meant by freezes.
Oh,
I meant by like she's like, and then she continues with what she's doing and kind of like darts eyes around the camp to see if there's anybody around, and
Please
she,
distracted by a flower.
yeah, and she'll look at Xenesis and say, "Are you all right?"
oh, I'm just cold. I mean, you did say it was gonna rain, and body warmth is pretty great. For being elves,
Havok
we're
is
tiny.
most
Furiously
definitely
masturbating.
in the bushes, rubbing his hands together like, yes,
It's gonna be a show tonight.
let it happen.
I'm
I
upset
start
that my
softly playing
passive
my
perception
clarinet-
still
clarinet.
sees you. I knew you didn't even know I'm distracted with a flower.
Playing
God
that-
damn it.
Got that jazz flute going.
Yeah, I'm softly playing
Try, baby.
sexy sax man.
So, yes. Well, I'm afraid I don't have much to offer in the way of body warmth, these temperatures cut into me as well. But, well,
Being new
I-
is all that matters. This is good.
I, okay. Would you like me to tell you what I'm doing?
Sure.
So, Illick's like
I get
trying
closer to you, as
Yeah.
close as possible.
Yeah, Illick's like trying to grasp onto a familiar thing. Is like begins like explaining like all the parts of the arrow and sort of like a ASMR kind of thing. Like she's like trying to like help you like sleep or whatever. Help you be more comfortable just kind of like talking, you know, not really about anything. And so she's just sort of talking about something that, you know, as an elf you might have in common with her, because
Mm-hmm.
you've got pretty different lives.
Right. Oh, that's fascinating. I and lean my head starts sliding from your shoulder, going towards your lap.
Bow chicka wow wow.
We should do this more often. Thanks for giving me warmth.
This is actually awesome. Alex is like in the most awkward of situations.
Perfect.
Tanner?
Oh, sorry, I forgot. I didn't have. I wasn't pushing my push to talk button. It's a big, important thing. So Ilix like puts her hand on your head and like just sort of like gently like rubbing your hair, and
Aw.
like she's sort of finished up with all of her stuff, and you know, she's sort of like running her like fingers through your hair, and she says like, my sisters and I used to tend each other's hair at night after the day, and it's been quite some time since I've been around people that I've felt comfortable with.
Aw. Well, I appreciate your company.
Mm-hmm. And she'll like she'll I guess compliment your hair. I forget
I
exactly
have long silver hair, if you want to know. Super luscious.
what I was
Super
thinking.
luscious. Love
Yeah.
it.
Your hair is such an interesting color and texture.
I got it from my mother, and then all of a sudden I start like sniffing and getting teary-eyed, and then sit up.
Oh.
I'm like, oh well, you know, I think I'm feeling a little bit warmer now. Thank you, Alex.
All right. Yes. Anytime. If you have something to speak on, I'm not much for counsel, but I have good ears, as you probably
Yes.
know.
Mm.
So, anytime, if you would wish to speak on something, please do so.
Maybe when there's another cold night.
Will there be?
Oh,
Find out next time
rises
on
from the bushes.
Days of Our Lives, Shudderwood edition. No, that was good.
Emphasis on wood.
Yeah.
Is Havelock the main character?
What's up?
Is Havelock the main character? Is that why Wood's the focus? Just in the bushes?
Havelock's always the main character.
Ah, okay. In every game.
In literally every game
Yeah.
except for Ryan's game, which
Except
he
for my
might be
game.
the main he might be the main villain. And
We're gonna find out there's a
Ryan's
god in
guess
that
we'll
game
see.
that determines everything, and it's named Havelock.
It's not Caden Killian, it's fucking Ryan.
Laughhawk.
Wood,
Lavhawk.
Woodlock.
Oh gosh.
Lockwood. There you go. That's...
Sure, why not?
Anyway.
So
yeah.
I think that was pretty good. What's everybody else doing? I know Plea is busy. Havelock, are you actually in the bushes, or are you doing something else?
I am both.
Nice.
Okay.
Innuendo.
What is Leopold doing with his time this evening?
Probably gonna. Wait, you said I could make that poison.
You
Should I
could start
make poison
crafting
now?
some, yeah.
Sure, I'll start doing that.
Use that crafting calculator that you have.
Hang on. What's the poison called again?
Wolfsbane? I think it should be in there. If not, just pick an equivalent one. I don't mind.
Maybe not just type in poisons in my Google search bar and do a Pathfinder poison. Just avoid that list.
Congratulations, you're on an NSA watch list.
Ah, Wolfsbane. Okay. It says ingested.
Yes.
So
Well, they
injury
did
doesn't.
stuff it in his mouth.
I mean, injury would also apply ingested.
So like any cuts or wounds, is that what you mean too?
I don't think so. I think you have to eat it.
No.
Yep.
Oh, you
I
have
think you physically have to eat wolves. Yeah, it says ingestion is different
Because
than
the
injury.
ones from injury will say like wound or injury or
Yeah.
something
Yep.
like that.
Gotcha. Jinx.
It's like
I'll make one.
if you get
Uh,
bludgeoned with spoiled chicken, you don't get food poisoning.
No,
Yeah.
you get septicemia.
Yeah.
Good.
Well played. I was gonna actually give the rubbing alcohol or peroxide example, because if you put that on wounds, it sterilizes them. But if you eat it, bad things happen to your insides.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like if you rub that poison on a werewolf, it wouldn't heal them.
No, just
No, it wouldn't.
Well, it wouldn't heal
illustrating
them.
the
It wouldn't really do
example.
anything.
I mean, illustrating the differences between ingesting a poison and an injury poison.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay, so Leopold is crafting poison this fine night. You guys don't have anything too exciting happen to you on this night. So, you can continue through the Shudderwood. Let me pop over to the map so I can kind of keep track of where you are.
I don't think you succeed
What? Oh, in crafting it?
crafting it. You have to
No.
beat
Do
the poison
you
CD.
poison yourself?
I don't
I
think
you
so.
have to fail.
Oh, you have
That's
to
an
eat it, I
outline,
guess.
And you have to eat it.
You and your
No,
fucking
you don't know.
poisons.
You don't brew stuff in your cheeks when you're doing alchemical
Oh,
stuff.
you're-
Like to stuff it in there.
Oh, I thought you were like a squirrel alchemist.
Yeah.
God.
That would be an amazing concept.
Dude.
That's an interesting
Oh, man.
concept. But you can always, I think it's about like 1 day for every 80,000 gold worth of costs, so you could do 2 a day. So you can try to make another one.
Well, and you can also, I mean, you can take a 10, but I guess that doesn't do you much better.
No, the
That wouldn't
check is
succeed.
16. Oh, there we
Hey, there you go.
So you succeeded in crafting one of them.
go. Yep.
The check is a little higher if you're not in a city with an alchemy lab, though, right? Like it's a little harder to make it on the road.
Technically, I don't actually have an alchemy lab on me, so I don't like my thing is specifically for gunsmithing. So I don't know if you want to like instead just say screw that and we'll wait, because like I don't really have like an alchemical set meant for
Oh
poisons.
yeah,
One
if you
that's
can't, if you don't have like a stone and poultice
Traveler.
or anything to like
Well,
grind
to
it up.
grind down. Well, I do, but it would be used for grinding down the charcoal.
Makeshift.
Oh, for like gunpowder.
Yeah.
I'll allow it, and I'll say that your 22 makes it. But I do think the DC without like a specialized alchemy kit, and the fact that you're on the road and don't have access to any supplies like vials or anything, like what are you putting the poison in?
Like a hollowed out coconut.
No, I use that.
There are
for
no
long
coconuts in
coming
these
poison.
woods.
Damn it!
He rolled a good
They're so
survival.
useful.
I
But yeah,
mean,
like
do we have-
describe to me what you're placing the poison in.
A full wooden set of vials and alembics and a wooden Bunsen burner.
So
You're just fucking whittling all this shit that he's describing to you while you travel. He's like, does this look about right?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Did
Yeah.
they change the way that crafting works? Cause I'm looking it up on the SRD,
So
and this is so different from what I remember when I was crafting wondrous items.
So I hold up, I pull out of my bag a flask of holy water, and I look at it, and I'm thinking to myself, well, I could pour this on the ground. And then my eyes peer around the group, and I see that 3 out of our 5 are people of her Pharasma, and they might just be like, "What are you doing?" So
One of those
Instead of-
people is occupied.
yeah, trying to like.
Two of
Two
them
of
are
them
occupied.
are occupied.
Actually, 3 of them. One of them is jacking off, one of them is
Yeah.
cuddling with an elf, and one of them is examining a wolfsbane flower that probably wouldn't care that you're making wolfsbane poison.
And the other elf is incredibly distracted.
Just doing a good massage on the scalp.
Jeez.
Instead, I will stroll a little bit out of the way to pretend like I'm gonna go take a piss behind a tree, pour out the holy water onto some roots, and I'll put it in the holy water flask.
Okay. I accept this.
Pharasma visits you
What?
and smites you immediately.
It is night, isn't it? Isn't the moon supposed to be her eyeball?
Sure. Yeah.
It's a fucking light beam. It's the moon beam comes
Yeah.
down.
She's given you the astral stank
What
eye.
did you want what did you want the DC to be for the Wolfsbane materials? Because I don't have like a normal
I would
thing.
say it increases your DC by 2, so I think 18 is your check.
18? Okay. And I've got 1.
But I don't know if you'll have any ability to store it from here. is kind of
Probably not.
Okay. So the night passes uneventfully. The sun rises, but there is no like rooster or anything to rouse you all awake. So, who gets up first?
I assume we set a watch. So whoever would be the
Yeah, final watch.
the last watch person would probably be that, and 1, 2, 3 not it.
I'll do it.
Well, the elves would go in the middle of the night, just
Yep.
saying.
Mm-hmm.
What for that vision and such.
Exactly.
The lesser known sequel to The Last Samurai, The Last Watch Person.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be the last watch person, so I'll go around nudging everyone once the sun comes up.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
You guys are
Ilix
all.
will
Go ahead.
go ahead. I was gonna say Ilix will set about looking for if there's any wild edibles around. Not that kind of
Does-
edible, but
Poison.
I found some in these bush. I think perhaps there's some in those bushes I've never checked over there.
I'm not going over to look in the bush you shat in last night.
Well,
I'm not falling for that
Dingleberries
one
don't
again.
count.
it's the only way I can finish.
Which Ryan was feeling evil tonight? Cause I'm confused.
I can't stop laughing to be evil.
It's not evil.
No, it was a text from Walker earlier.
I was feeling evil earlier today, but like I've been laughing too hard tonight to feel evil.
Yep.
You guys have lifted my spirits from evil to good. Congratulations, guys.
So I suppose you
Yay.
guys set off on your morning routine and gather food and eat breakfast and all of that type of stuff.
I just open up a trail ration and eat it.
Damn straight.
Yeah,
Um,
Ilix is going to try to find some berries or something like
I have
that.
a thirst.
Okay.
Pass me that holy water.
Yeah. No.
Let's see. Foraging's just DC 10, so I think Ilix just succeeds at finding
Okay.
whatever within reason.
Yeah, I'll find some handfuls of some berries and maybe some edible mushrooms or something like that.
Nice.
To sort of support our something a little more palatable than whatever our rations are made out of, like jerky and pemmican and nuts or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what OG rations would be made out of. Probably not terribly appetizing.
No, I would imagine it's mostly like really stale bread.
Yeah, stale bread, like heavily salted.
Yeah, I was gonna say incredibly
stuff.
cured meats.
Yeah, basically like chewing on a saddle.
But I mean, if you have like a traditional loaf of bread and you haven't cut into it, it stays good for a pretty long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'll bring
but
back a small bounty to
I do
share.
I do want a perception from you, Ilix, for while you're walking down the path. That's
So
pretty
that's 26.
good. Okay. 26. Perfection.
Yeah.
Okay. As you guys are traveling along, Ilix leading the way as per usual, you find this kind of glinting in the trees, and it marks a footpath that you might have missed.
Whoa.
How high up is this? Is it like people reaching, or is this like hung up high in a tree?
It's sort of at, I suppose, like chest height.
Okay.
Just sort of tucked behind some leaves.
Ilix will go over. She'll like draw up make the stop signal, and she'll sort of reach in and brush these leaves aside and point at this thing and say, "I think our quarry has definitely been through here." Because this is obviously one of the Whispering Way symbols.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you find this?
It's still on the tree. I haven't pulled it off, but it's like on a tree by the edge of the main path.
How high up is this?
About chest height.
How is it affixed to the tree?
I'm imagining like a small branch was broken off, or otherwise there's just a little like nub standing off of the.
It's got these like little like
trunk.
talon things on the side. It might be like wedged in like the crotch of a tree or something like that.
No, I think it's
So-
actually hanging.
Hanging.
So it
Okay.
appears to be deliberately placed there.
Yes.
I wonder.
And it seems to point to this this path that we hadn't seen here. I'm wondering if perhaps this is some way that the cult uses to circumvent the regular path.
I signed to my friends that the Count mentioned a secret path that we were supposed to be keeping an eye out for. The Whispering Way we're going to be taking to the Askenar Lounge. Perhaps we have found it by mistake.
Yes, it certainly.
It's more like It's more like Ilex found it.
Yes.
Yes.
So.
Well,
Go ahead. Sorry.
I suppose this means that they expect more followers of their ilk, which means we may have company. I suggest that we remove this totem, so that if indeed they are signaling their brethren, they won't find this path after all.
Prudent. I suggested we be careful with touching it. It might.
Could
It's
easily be
alluring
cursed.
enough.
I detect
Cursed, or
magic
at
on
least
it.
trapped.
I would say you don't detect any magic on this item. It just appears to be just a inert, though slightly ornate object.
I take a piece of cloth off of my. I strip a little piece off of my robes. Hello, Zoo. And
Thank you, Ryan.
just reach out to grab it with the cloth, just in case it's covered in poison.
Ooh.
All right, roll. No, I'm just kidding.
And
Nothing
I wrap it up
happens.
and put it in my bag.
Okay. So yeah, Ilex, a few feet off the path, maybe 5 or 6 feet or so, off the trail you're on right now, like the what could almost be considered an obvious trail with as thick as these woods are. About 5 feet off of that, past where you found the symbol, there is a small bone fetish kind of hanging from a tree that looks much older, and it doesn't have like the cloth gag. And right where that's hanging, there's a more defined footpath that you suspect might be the silent path that you were told about by the Count.
Okay. So Ilex will, looking around at the area now that we've stopped, she'll point out this bone fetish. I'm guessing this is probably just like a skull and some accoutrements, probably.
Yeah, it looks like it might be like a mouse skull and maybe the rib
Okay.
cage.
Okay. And she'll sort of step over there and sort of motion everybody over and say, "Look here!" And she points with an arrow to this path that is now more obvious that we've moved off the main one slightly. Ought we examine this pathway, or should we maintain our previous course?
I think that if the Whispering Way is who we're here for, this ought to be the path that we take.
My thoughts
Agreed.
exactly.
Still best to
Well.
keep a wary eye.
Yes, doubly so.
Okay. So you guys start down that trail, and nearly an hour later, the sound of rushing water begins to get closer and closer, and Ilex suspects that you are approaching the Boostrel River.
As we're traveling, Flea is keeping an eye out for the plant, the wolfbane.
Wolfsbane.
Okay. Plea, do you have survival?
Good question. How about I can't check my skills because it's a token macro and my roll 20 is frozen right now, so give me a second.
Oh, I didn't give you tokens on that particular map, sorry.
That's okay. It's just my roll 20 is being really bad right now for some reason.
Did you clear the chat log? Because you should do that. I can potentially roll it for you if you'd like.
See if I have it. Oh, there we go. Now it's working. Okay, skills. I might have survival. It probably is a monk skill. Survival. My survival's not that great, and it's not trained. Can I roll perception?
Sure. I think the DC is higher.
My modifier is also significantly higher.
Yes. Well, you rolled a 19, so I would be pretty remiss if I didn't at least acknowledge that. Yeah. Okay. I'll keep that in mind for if you come across any.
Cool. Thanks.
Okay. So you guys reach the shore of the river. The path opens up onto a sort of pebbly shore. It's definitely not beach by any means.
Yeah. But probably nice for them to be out from the enclosed environment of the trees.
Yeah, it's definitely less oppressive here, and the running water kind of glistens in the daylight, and it's definitely brighter in this open area than it was inside the forest. What do you do?
I suppose we carry on.
So there's no features of interest that we notice.
No, just the rocky, pebbly beach and river.
And so, does the path appear to continue along the river? Is there a
No, it
discernible path at
opens
this
up
point?
into this space. So the path you were following opens up directly into the river, like it's perpendicular.
Right. Okay. I want to look on the other side to see if there's evidence of like people fording the river,
Yeah.
or something like that. You know, cutting down the distance, maybe that one. Would you like perception on that?
I will take either perception or survival.
It's not
Not the
great.
best.
It's a 20 if I
Better
still
than
get my
mine.
forest bonus.
Havelock is distracted by the fact that it's bright here.
As am I, apparently.
Jeez, guys.
I rolled a 4, so
With those perceptions, I'll say that you, on the other side of the river, you do think you can see something of a hollow that might indicate the other side of the path. But at this particular spot, I would say the river is pretty wide.
okay.
It's, well, let me see if I can measure it on the map. I probably can't, but I'll try. It's maybe like a quarter-mile across.
Okay. Can we see from where we are whether the path or the whether it narrows at some point?
Oh, the river?
Yes.
From
A
your
more
vantage
suitable
point,
crossing.
the way it winds through the forest, it's a little difficult to see too far in either direction.
Okay.
You're kind of at a an apex of a curve. So
Okay.
yeah, I don't think you see any spot where it would narrow it by any significant margin.
Well, are you all up for a swim?
Ooh.
Oh no.
It's gonna
Still
be a
got
bit
my
chilly.
Jurassic floaties.
Oh my
Yes,
gosh, I
it's-
forgot about that shit.
Yes. Well, I'm not too keen on making that swim either. Perhaps we travel.
Is there something
down.
to float on?
If you have any creative solutions to crossing the river at this point, I'm open to them. I suggest that we travel downriver. Are we going down or upriver? I assume we're going downriver.
You're perpendicular to it right now. The path that you were following would have been going upriver, and then across it, and then down river for the next one.
Okay. Well, I suggest that we move along the bank a ways to see if there's an area that narrows down within a reasonable distance.
So you said that we're pretty sure that this secret path, like crosses the river here, but like on the other side is where it continues, right?
Mm-hmm.
Flea grabs a stick from the road, and like you said it was like kind of gravelly.
Yeah.
I put a bunch of gravel at its base to get the stick to stick straight up, so that we can find our way back to this point along the river. Should we cross the river at some point
Well,
further down?
aren't the Whispering Away a bunch of wizards? Necromancers, I guess?
They are
Necromancers.
What are they gonna do with a stick? Are you worried?
Well,
They
I don't
might
think they're
have a way
going to
of crossing
reanimate
the
that
river.
dead tree, no. But could
They
they have,
might-
like, hidden it?
They may have a magical way of
Yeah.
Crossing
getting
the river.
across.
I detect
that we
magic
don't.
Like when we-
around where the path would go into the river.
No magic here, just a river.
Damn.
Because I remember they made that, like, makeshift bridge back at the Caramarsh place. That, like, 2-foot wide stupid thing that we had to, like, cross.
Did they make that?
Pretty sure they did.
The
I
wood,
don't think
yeah,
anyone
the
made
wood
that.
bridge was a temporary solution. That is true. But there was,
Okay.
I mean, they had equipment and workers to do that.
Oh.
You don't really have either.
No. Yeah, I think we have to go upriver. I mean, I'm wearing fucking chainmail.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have anything that'll particularly get us across this, and we don't have any magic in the party, so I think we pretty much
Yes.
don't really have any solutions to
We
this.
can't find a big log to ride on and be like one of those cool redneck people.
Cool redneck people is sort of an oxymoron. How wide and deep is this river?
It's you said a quarter mile wide.
Oh,
Depth,
fuck that.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're not getting across that.
Yeah, no. I think we gotta
I'll
go back.
I'll verify that, but that is
That
what it
seems
appears to
entirely
be.
reasonable.
It is a
Yeah.
river, not a creek, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's entirely reasonable to me.
Yeah.
But I think that's the only option that we have at this point, barring somebody pulling a flying carpet out of their bag that they forgot they had. So, Illich
doesn't the
will-
cleric have levitate?
Yeah. If I do, I definitely didn't
What?
prepare it.
Levitate, I thought was an arcane spell.
Pretty sure it's not.
I don't even know how to spell levitate.
It's not a cleric spell.
Oh, okay.
The only other thing I could do would be maybe use a card to ask for a hint, but I'm pretty
I
sure
don't
we
know
know.
if it's worth a hint.
Yeah.
That's up to you.
There are many ways of crossing a river, but none that we can see to return these vile things to us, should we spin them.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's either that or use that card for a 1d6 times your character level channel positive energy.
That seems way better.
So I don't know. I mean, it seems like maybe we want to use the hint here.
I want to reach through and turn off your air conditioning right now.
That is the meanest thing you've ever said to me. How dare you?
You're right, actually. That might actually be the meanest thing I've ever said to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
We have a
have
good
anything for
friendship.
this. Yeah, it is a good friendship. Yeah, I don't think I got it. We don't have any druid. We can't use wood shape or anything.
Let's search up the river for a way to cross.
Yeah, maybe search up the river. Yeah, I mean, unless we find a boat or something though, or a ferry or a bridge. I don't think we're.
Or just a spot where it narrows.
Yeah, considerably.
We've crossed much more dangerous things, friends. I'd
Yeah,
say
like Judge Daramid.
Oh gosh. All right. So I feel like we're just
Leaving
kind
your
of
doors.
spinning our wheels here, boys. What's the plan?
We're going to sacrifice
I think we just told you we're
ourselves
going
in
up,
the river.
up the river.
We're gonna go upriver, just find a way to cross.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's a stick sticking up, so we can find our way back.
Yeah. How far away from the rivers?
Oh, a good ways. Like, I want it to be visible from the other side, but like, it's not in the forest and it's not.
Not at
Um,
risk of being washed
yeah.
away.
It's a good ways away from the bank.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. So I'll.
So
Take
what
point
are you looking for in terms of ways to cross the river?
A place where either there's potentially like a natural like narrowing, or potentially a dam of some kind, or an area where there's a lot of rocks across the area that we could hop, skip, jump across, or something like that. Or if we lucked out to find a boat or some natural place where the river is narrower or is disrupted in some way to let us walk across.
Sure. Okay.
And let me throw you a. Do you want survival? Or
I think
perception on
survival works best for that.
that? Okay. Fuck.
Yikes.
15. Back me up, guys. Anybody that's got it.
Okay.
Assemble.
Just for
What?
clarity, are you guys assisting him or rolling your
I'm
own?
Assisting. I'm
Assisting.
assisting.
Okay.
I figured I wasn't going to be able to make it on my own.
Shit.
I'll roll my own since I'm a wisdom character.
Okay.
I will assist Ilix. Most likely.
We probably end up tying.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Assisting Ilix.
Wow.
Oh.
So I'm gonna say after about 2 hours of hiking along the river, you are no closer to crossing than you were. I'll give you another opportunity to decide what to do.
Keep going.
I suppose that's the only option.
Unless one of you... I assigned to them unless one of you grew flippers in the last hour.
I'm not incompetent at swimming, but
It's a
I
long
guess
swim.
I guess I'm remembering another Pathfinder game I'm in, because I was like, could have sworn we had like potions of swimming or something. That might be the other one.
We have a potion of water breathing.
Yeah, but that doesn't stop the tumbling down the bottom of the river getting pelted
Oh,
by.
no.
by
Yeah,
fish.
It will not help you at all when it comes to swimming across the river. It'll just prevent you from drowning.
To preempt your question, the current is not that bad.
okay.
So we could feasibly just swim it.
Yeah.
I would probably say
Or-
Flea do that just because he's the strongest like character here for that. I feel.
Could we build a
He's not-
raft?
That's what I was going to say, is if we could build a raft that we could put our equipment on, that wouldn't encumber our bodies.
Right.
And then we
Doggy
could,
paddle holding on to it.
Apparently, I have
Yes.
no idea how to build a raft.
we could,
I mean, you
As a
could probably build a raft with survival, right?
I would think that would be okay, yeah. That seems like a survival tactic.
I'll aid
Rafts
Ilix.
don't exist. Are you kidding me?
You're a city boy,
Boats
shut up.
only.
I'm spamming guidance on everybody constantly as I help Ilix.
okay,
Build a raft.
So we're gonna build a
Yeah.
raft. Okay.
Yes, I'm gonna help Ilix build a raft.
I think Xenesis grabs a bunch of twigs and kind of ties them together with a strip of leather and goes, "Is this good enough?"
Hey, look, guys, I built a paddle. I think this will do. Yeah.
I look over at Ilix or at Xenesis and I say, "Yes, that's very good. Why don't you go build us another one
We're gonna hang
over
that
in
on
the
the
woods over
refrigerator.
there? Uh-huh.
Oh, thanks, Have.
And make sure you don't run out of earshot. Now you go play and have fun, you little scamp."
So Ilix is gonna set about. First, she's gonna see if anybody has a hatchet or something for chopping wood, and
Pull
then
out
it's
my
gonna
greatsword.
try to close enough.
Me and
Yikes.
Ryan are just like bringing wood to you. Like
Yeah.
he's chopping it down,
I
I'm
was gonna
hauling it
say-
over.
Plea is a hatchet.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good.
He
point.
just fucking punches a tree and it falls over.
So I guess Ilix would request some larger logs to sort of form the base, and then some medium-sized log to sort of make a basic frame, and then like a smaller set of roughly straight branches to form the top. Also, with any sort of vine that you can find to serve as rope.
Cool.
Unless somebody happens to have
we
a
have
bag of nails.
we have rope, but I
We don't
have
prefer not
enough
to use
rope.
it to tie
Yeah.
a bunch, like cut it up. That would suck.
Right.
So, I think between me and Ryan, we go about trying to do those things.
Yes,
I don't
vines
think anyone
or
else succeeds
grasses.
in helping you.
Yeah, vines
woods.
or grasses that can be woven into cord would be
Gardener.
ideal. If Plea can pick out some of the tougher grasses, then that would be ideal because we can form those into cord and then into rope. This might be a several hours undertaking.
That
That's
sounds
fine.
like it probably is.
But like at least that way we get across the river. Like it might take us
Right.
a day to get across the river, but we got across the river.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So my survival check was a 23 for
I think that's good
crafting a
enough.
raft.
Yeah.
And then there's 2 assists, so that's 27.
It's
Yep.
+2 apiece, right?
Yeah,
Should
I
be.
think that's fair.
Okay. So yeah, I think we make probably aiming for something that's like 5 by 5.
Okay.
Ideally, it's probably going to be, a little bit heavy, and our stuff's probably going to get a little bit wet. But what's important is getting it across.
Right.
And I would say we probably, put Havelock's, his heavy armor towards the center as sort of our center of mass, and then whatever else, sort of radiating out from that with the lightest stuff towards the edges, and I would say that we should figure out who our best swimmers are.
Definitely not me. I have a -1.
I've got a +5 to swimming.
+4.
Okay.
Give me a second, I'm checking. Where the fuck is swim? I have an 8.
Okay. So you're our strongest swimmer. So Ilix is going to suggest that you make sort of like you're the main donkey on the cart.
Okay.
I guess I could be doing this in character. Now that we've got this thing set up, and I guess we're sort of would be standing around looking at our handiwork. And what time of day are we at, Derp?
You set off around 8. You journeyed for about an hour before you found the path, and you walked up the river for about 2 hours, and now you built your raft, which I imagine took you a while.
Mid to late afternoon.
Yeah, I would say it's pretty close to maybe 5 p.m.
Okay. And it's winter time, so it's
Yeah.
getting dark early.
You probably don't have much
Oh.
daylight left.
Yeah. Well, it's late now, so we either commit to doing this now, or we wait till morning and attempt to ford then. Can't say that
Probably
it's
wait
going to
till-
be any warmer.
We should probably wait till morning, just because if something goes wrong and we end up separated or having
I
to.
prefer not to swim across a river in the dark.
Exactly.
Was it
Ideally.
dark
That's
by now?
my point.
No, but like I have to
We're in
swim
a forest
across a
and the
quarter
light's
mile of a
fading.
river. I don't know how long that's
Yeah.
gonna take.
We
me.
had trouble crossing a 60-foot bridge without near-death experiences. This.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And this is a 5x5
Relatively calm
raft.
river.
Yeah, just for sort of
Big enough
Pathfinder
for
distance
equipment
and
stuff?
area sake.
So it's
I
one
think
square.
5x5 Yeah,
Yes.
it'd be one square.
Basically,
uh,
Zoo and the equipment can fit on it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know if it has the buoyancy to accomplish that.
I mean,
Really?
you can.
If
ride
If she's
on a
holding
log.
all of the heavy gear and her on the raft.
Oh,
Oh, I didn't intend for her to be on it.
oh, never mind.
I thought she was holding it, like
Oh.
all
She
of us.
she can be hanging onto it and pushing it or something, so that she has something stable to hang on to.
Zoo is tied off.
Oh,
to
you
me.
guys are gonna tether her to the raft and then pull the raft. Gotcha.
So yeah, so
Kind of like my other character crossing
Everyone
the
is
bridge.
tied to the raft.
Yeah.
Raft-
I think it makes most sense for all of us to be like holding the raft, like on the sides,
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
swimming
that's fair.
with it that way.
Yeah.
what my thought was initially is that we have a person, or what initially what my Ilix's idea was is that we have one person sort of tied to it and sort of swimming, our strongest swimmers like straight up swimming across, and then we have two people out to the sides who are helping pull this thing, because it's going to go with the current. So what we're going to be doing, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to like set ourselves upstream from our landing
already-
point.
Yeah, we're
We already
2
are
hours
upstream.
from our landing
Yeah.
point, so
Yeah,
So-
so it'd actually be better to make it all the way to the other side than coast down back to where we want to be.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And so we have our strongest swimmer, trying to go as straight across as possible. And then we have two people out on the side who can basically be like the, help in case they get into trouble. So like those people can be, assisting in the swim role to drag this thing across. And then our least competent people can be, with the stuff, not on the raft, but like, swimming with it, sort of as their floaty.
Mm.
Okay. I mean, that sounds pretty good to me.
Okay.
As a person who's never done this before, but watched a number of survival shows,
Seems accurate.
I'm pulling a lot of things out of my ass, but
I mean, I'm good with
None
this
of it
plan, but I
seems-
still want to wait until, like, if it's
Yeah,
getting
definitely
close
we
to
wait.
sunset, I would rather
Yeah.
wait till morning before we
Yeah.
set out with this plan.
Okay.
So let's set up camp with our raft. Do we know what the weather's going to be like tomorrow or during the night? Elix, I sign.
Nope.
with a 15,
Oh, is it a
What's,
15? Oh,
yeah,
you
it's a
barely
15.
get it.
no,
Okay.
it's actually
Uh-huh.
it's a 16.
Okay, all right.
Plus 2. I thought I rolled a 13. I was
You can predict the weather up to 24 hours in advance. For 5 points by which you exceed the check, you can predict it an additional day. So yeah, tomorrow you think there is going to be more rain and more cold. You didn't get rained on a whole lot today. Is light sprinkles, but tomorrow there will probably be a bit more, and it won't be the warm kind.
more rain and cold, unfortunately.
More snuggles.
Whatever we can do to have. I imagine that this water is also fairly cold.
Chilly.
So
Yeah, probably.
ideally we want to, I don't know if we have like some waxed canvas or something like that, or like even like I don't know what my cloak of resistance is made out of, but like it helps me endure saves, so maybe it's like got some waterproof qualities. But if we could like
That might be a stretch.
Yeah. Anything that we have that's relatively waterproof, if we could wrap up some dry tinder and kindling in, so that way we have a fire as soon as possible on the other side, because the loss of heat after this could be, endangering.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. And
Okay.
So, Ilix is satisfied with her raft, and it's sort of been like a, yeah, I fucking know stuff. Like I got skills. What for? The bills are paid.
What for?
Okay.
So yeah, she'll be sort of, running over the scenario.
Hey, look,
In her
clerics
mind.
can
That's what
cast a
occupies her
waterproof
time.
spell.
Oh,
This one can.
why not?
Because she's never prepared.
No, I mean in the morning.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning, though,
Tomorrow,
yeah.
yeah.
Before we set out on our journey, she can waterproof things. It's a level 1 spell.
Yeah, if we could,
It's called
Ideally-
waterproof.
Yep.
ideally wherever we camp tonight, find somewhere that's, a little bit covered, and while we can collect some dry stuff, because it's easier to collect dry stuff and keep it dry than it is to try to dry it out.
Could she waterproof us, and then we just walk
We
across
just skip across.
the river?
We just
Mm.
hydrophobic our
Have
way
Have you ever
across.
dropped a hydrophobic stone into a puddle of water? It still sinks to the
All the
bottom.
time. All the time I do that. It always
Yeah.
floats on top.
But
She.
actually, that's not a bad idea. She could cast it on all of us, and then when we get to the other side, we won't be cold.
I don't
Oh,
know. I think
that's
it
not how it
would
works.
still transfer energy. It would, like, the heat would still leave our bodies.
Yes.
Yes. Also,
Your equipment is rendered waterproof because you are wearing it. If she casts it on you.
Can she cast it on an object? And
up to 10
She
pounds
can-
per level, so only
Yes, she
70
can do
pounds of
70
stuff.
pounds worth of stuff in one
Okay.
casting. So
well,
she could.
that would keep, like, our warmer clothes warm, like our traveling clothes. Not
Yeah,
our
whatever
armor
you're
and
gonna
stuff.
wear while you swim, she could waterproof, and that would certainly go a long way.
Well, I wasn't planning on I was planning on dump the gear, have the clothes and our tinder in sort of a bundle, waterproof
waterproof.
that, and then we swim in our skivvies
Mm-hmm.
across, just because of weight restrictions and all that, and then we have dry clothes to put on, and we have fire.
Yeah. I dig it.
Okay. And so I think our evening activities are probably taken up with that
Prep.
discussion. Sort of how we're going to make this crossing and not be miserable on the other side. So, do we do anything else in camp?
Don't think so. Nothing of note, at least for me.
Okay.
I'm excited traveling down the river.
Well, once you get in the water, you may not be that excited. It's going to be quite cold.
It'll literally take our breath away.
I certainly hope not. It's generally good for living. So if we're not doing anything else, then sleep and watches.
Yes. I will take first watch again, or the watch in the morning.
Okay. Describe to me where you're camping, because it's kind of a narrow footpath, and then there's a beach.
I think we would probably hack something out.
Okay.
We might scout around a little bit to. We might actually go in one of the areas that we kind of cleared out to get wood.
That'll work.
Yeah, I would guess we would have cleared a spot right at the beach, and that would be the spot to camp.
Yeah. Ideally, something with a little cover overhead to block as much rain as possible.
Yeah.
Preferably under a larger tree.
Fair enough. I just kind of wanted to get a visual of that just for narrative reasons.
Yeah.
See here. Your evening passes uneventfully. The sun rises, and you're all waking up to the lovely sound of the river. And you've had a peaceful couple days. It's probably been a nice respite, actually.
Yeah, Ilix feels great. Like, she's.
It's a
I don't
vacation
think
to her.
Yeah, this isn't. I think this might be a little bit colder than what she's used to.
I don't know that it would be entirely different than where she's at in December.
Yeah, that's probably true. So yeah, she's other than it being chilly, she's feeling pretty good. But she will wake up and eat a hearty meal of rations, or if we've got some bacon and eggs, or whatever we normally
Congratulations, it's rations.
yeah. Oh look, more rations. And what did we have the day before? Oh, that was rations.
Hey, it's what we need.
Yeah.
It's got what you need.
So
It's got
Xenesis, you need to work with your team to very carefully pick spells for today. Because the challenges ahead probably rely on you more than anyone else.
Waterproof.
Waterproof in many of 1 or 2 or 3 or all of your
Level
level 1
7, right?
slots. And then maybe some pull strength for helping swims.
That could be good.
We have level. Wait, we're level 7. Do you have level 3 spells, Zoo?
Yeah.
Do you have water walking and water breathing?
What? That's a good point.
Because I think you can just be Jesus now, and just walk over there with your arms outstretched.
Yeah, that's good for her. I mean, if she can get across without having to make any goofiness, then
Without
One
having to
touch
make
creature
a
per level. She can touch 7 creatures with this
Oh
thing.
my,
Oh my God. And
Wait,
she's just like, hey, I just remembered. It's like that scene from Deep
How
Sea
many-
Abridged.
You just need to carry 1 water walk. We can all just walk across the
I think
river.
I think maybe she prays to Pharasma and she gets this answer.
So I can cast 2 level 3 spells and 1 level 4 and 5 level 1s.
You only need one.
You only need
level
one
3 spell.
level 3 spell today that we're picking for you is water walk, because you can touch
Water.
7 people with it, and for 70 minutes we can
Yeah.
walk on water.
I feel bad because I like this boat idea.
I do not, but I tie the rope around the raft and use it to cart our luggage just in case something happens, and I end up falling into the water.
I guess because I
And
know.
also because we worked so hard.
Yeah, because we worked so hard on it, and I, because I am a bad cleric, do not know my spells well enough, and didn't think of this.
I kind of like the idea that Xenesis knows about this spell, but waits until we've finished completely preparing the raft, and she's like, "Why don't we just water walk? I guess you guys don't want to do that, huh?"
I
It's
like
like, what?
the idea. I like Darp's idea that Zoo actually doesn't know anything about her spells, and
Oh my
Pharasma
God.
literally gives them to her every day.
Yeah.
God.
Here you go.
I mean-
I see that you're trying to cross. Pharasma is basically Clippy here. I see you're trying to cross the river. Perhaps you would like to try water walk?
only it's a day late.
Well, a day.
She hasn't updated her
The
RAM.
river.
Pharasma's still running Windows 95, alright? You gotta be patient.
We didn't know that we
Yeah.
were going to be crossing a river yesterday, so when she prepared her spells yesterday morning,
Yeah, Ilix storms off.
across the water.
Across the water.
No, she storms off into the forest.
I don't think we even mentioned this yet, though.
Mention what?
honestly,
When-
if Xenesis thinks of this, she might not say anything because she realizes how much she put into it, that she doesn't want to like destroy all this camaraderie that we've had building this raft.
Well,
My-
Xenesis, I need you to decide how you're handling this then.
Look at this boat and raft.
Because how you handle the knowledge of this spell affects how everyone else responds. So you need to decide.
I think Xenis is gonna do it after the fact. I feel like if we die in this boat, we'll die together. Because honestly, if I was more prepared as a cleric, we wouldn't have done this. And so I think for Xenesis, she's at least well aware enough that she doesn't want to ruin what is going on right now. This group working together. So I keep it to myself. Thank you for asking, but I keep it to myself and
That sounds
put
motive.
Put it in my pocket for future instances where we have water.
Well, it'd be hilarious. We're halfway across the river. Shit
If we
starts going
die.
bad. No, shit starts going bad, and she's like, well, we're gonna die together, but she just does it on herself, and then just gets on top of the water. Bye, everyone.
It's like, oh, geez, that team building exercise didn't work out.
Okay, so Xenesis, you're not telling your party that you have this spell. What else are you doing?
I mean, I'll have waterproof. I like
Okay.
and breathing underwater.
Water Walk is a ranger spell as well.
Yep.
I
Makes
guess
sense.
you didn't choose it.
I don't have spells. I sacrificed spells for my skirmisher stuff.
Okay.
Well, anywho, so I guess you guys are probably preparing your raft.
Yes.
Yeah, we're got equipment on there and loading everything up and trying to get the balance of stuff right. I think Ilix is probably like trying to collect whatever dry stuff we have, and you know, as far as like tinder to make a fire on the other side. And then she starts like stripping down because she wants as little weight as possible. So she's
Sorry.
yeah. It may not be the first time that anybody has seen Ilix without her primary clothing on. But you know, it's certainly the most prominent.
Havelock will. Wait. What is your prominent underclothing?
She has like a bra and underwear of some kind. I don't know what.
Bras
there's not really
existed
like
back then.
medieval bras or anything
Okay.
like that.
Probably
But
just cloth wrapped
well,
around your chest.
don't
probably
say
has,
it's
like,
the
a
most
cloth. No,
prominent.
No, this is the most prominent time, not the
I
clothing
see.
itself.
Havelock will, strip his chainmail and all of his various gear, except for Gabby's greatsword, which he clasps in his little like belt loop around him, and kicks off his boots, takes off his pants, and reveals that he's wearing Pharasmic printed boxers.
Jesus.
That's amazing.
And he's
You
like,
have-
"There's only
you've
two
had-
things I never let leave my person."
Please take
And then,
off his robes.
well, three things. And then I put poopsie on my head.
Is one of those things dignity?
Oh, jeez.
Because I'm not seeing a lot of
Put
dignity
Poopsie on the raft.
in this area.
What? It's very cold. I'll have you know.
I'm trying to decide whether or not Flea is actually nude under his robes right now. Cause like he literally just wears robes everywhere.
Yeah,
I could tie him up like girding his loins.
I would probably do that.
So
That's a good
every
idea.
time Plea flurry of blow someone, he does like a high kick. The person's like, "Ow! Oh God!"
I
Make
mean,
an intimidation check.
they're wrapped around my leg. Like I feel like they're not like loose
Whoa,
robes.
What's wrapped around your leg?
My
I was gonna
testicles are wrapped around my legs, dude.
I was
Oh,
gonna say,
wow.
They hang so low, all the way, all the
I
way
was
to the
gonna-
You
ground
went with
and back.
testicles, not.
I was gonna say that like everybody expects the flurry of blows, but nobody expects the flail.
Oh no.
Jesus.
You guys are horrible. I tie my robes differently, and so that they are basically girding my loins.
Yeah, I'm imagining like Ilix has probably like a wrap of some kind to sort of secure her upper deck. I'm trying to be as modest and respectful as possible to female anatomy in these things.
Her tits.
I'm just her tits.
She's got a makeshift sports bra, like something
Yeah.
out of Tarzan.
yeah. It's
Zenith's
like
hair is
whenever
so
you
long that it covers everything. It's
like
fine.
whenever you take the character's clothes off in Skyrim, she has whatever that is.
Perfect. Love it.
And so modesty is maintained. You can tell that she's tall and gangly.
Perfect.
Essentially. That's
All
I'm
right.
imagining anyway.
Yeah. So then I guess we sort of get our ropes, which are like our proper ropes, are going to be what we use to
Yeah.
secure our bodies and
I secure
attach
one end
to
of
the raft.
me. I secure one of my ropes is tied around me, and then halfway down the rope I tie to the raft, and the other end of the rope I tie to Xenesis, who I don't trust swimming in this river.
Xenesis's emergency line.
Mhm.
Literally an emergency line in case Sue fails,
Yeah.
because
And
he's not
maybe-
good at anything strength related.
Maybe connected to the end of hers is the rope of climbing, because if shit starts to go wrong, we could make a chain. She could throw the rope of climbing. It will wrap itself around something on
You're,
the
why
riverside.
are you assuming that my network is so bad that it'll untie from Zoo?
I'm not saying your knotwork is bad. I'm saying if the river suddenly turns into a giant water elemental and kills us all, we could like hopefully get out of the water or something.
I
Big
shoved the
flash
raft in the
flood
water
or
and
something.
started swimming.
Yeah.
Please God.
So
God. Please God.
Yeah. Okay. So my thought is, Ilix is on the left side. We've got Plea in the center, and then we have Havelock to the right, and we're the ones who will be pulling, and the other two will be back, hanging onto and swimming under their own power as much as possible. But they will be, hanging onto our floating mass of clothing. If we have extra rope, we want to lash everything down as much as possible, such that it doesn't fall off and get lost.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Xenesis casts the waterproof on the items that are in the boat.
Okay.
Xenesis gives you a magical dry bag.
Awesome.
What a nifty spell.
Mhm.
And so appropriate for this situation. How convenient.
I did prepare it last night after hearing all these boat talk, and yeah.
Yes. I certainly appreciate you applying all of your clerical knowledge to this particular situation.
Xenesis kind of gives you a look, and she just has big toothy grin, like,
Was that Darp in the other room clapping
Yes.
like an excited
Yep.
seal? What's happening?
Yeah.
27 cents motive.
Oh no! Okay. Havelock, you definitely know she is concealing something.
Huh. Xenesis, is you alright? It doesn't seem like you're being completely truthful.
I give Havelock a very, narrow, almost icy stare, like, please don't press it.
I really must impress upon you. You have to share what's going on here.
I have
You're
a
not working
question.
for the
Are we-
Whispering Way, are you?
Are we in the water? Are we in the water?
Yeah,
You
I
think
think
we're already
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Speaking of-
Yeah.
I can just float downstream.
Zenith is kind of, if it's possible, she kind of like sinks her head underneath the water.
Did you cast any bull strengths by chance when you're casting spells?
I can. I do have bull strength. I will cast it. Who would like a bull
By all
strength?
means, let's spend more spells on this.
Zenith, oh man. What is Zenith gonna do?
I
She
don't
kinda-
know. I'm interested to see.
So Zenith pops her head back up as we're like dragging along in the water.
Well,
She's
okay,
just-
so if you didn't cast bull strength on me while we were on shore, then you did not
No.
cast bull strength on me at all. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
going to roll
Not
my swing
cast
check
it.
and continue on,
Okay,
because Havelock cannot be inspecting you while he's swimming.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Just you want.
So I guess the way I've thought this out is that Havelock and I will be reinforcing please swim checks. Does that sound?
Sounds good.
That sounds fair.
So
Where the
roll
DM
me those-
And
says.
I will just hang on and try to keep kicking.
Havelock, this is not the time to have this conversation.
Oh, now you're
Listen.
pushing it.
I feel like the time to have it would have been on the beach before you
Exactly.
started concealing things. Doing the best with what I've got here.
Uh,
I think Havelock might be. I think Ryan, the player, might be using a little bit of meta here for his character's
Oh,
reactions
I-
to things.
Certainly am.
Yeah.
Plee knows about the existence of bull strength because he's seen
Yeah.
Zenesis cast it before. None of us know the existing.
Xenesis, I need a
Warlock.
swim check from you.
okay. If I die, I deserve to die.
You are tied off. It's going to be nearly impossible for you to die.
Okay.
That was the groan of God. Why did she have to fail it?
Xenesis
Make
spends.
sure you're not suffering any penalties from your armor because we've stripped our armor and everything off. So if you have any negatives from
Like
you
you
know,
do
Yeah.
light armor.
armor
She,
check
that's an
penalty.
armor check penalty for sure. Nothing
So,
else gives you a -1.
None of us are wearing armor.
She has -1
No.
strength. It gives you -1.
Oh,
on
never
swim.
mind.
Yeah, I was gonna say my strength is like really shit.
So that should
What?
be 8 then.
Xenesis spends the entire trip across gurgling and gasping for air and desperately grasping at the raft.
It's not time. Havelock. Time conversation.
I don't know.
And she apparently blames Havelock for her struggles swimming.
And for
No.
the decision not to cast water walking on the whole party, so we could have a team building exercise. Like
I am forever ashamed
reaping
as a player.
she's reaping the rewards of her own decision, like to like decide instead of like like she found out late and she didn't want to confess that she didn't think of casting water walking or didn't realize she could cast water walking until after, and instead of appearing inept, decided to just have us forge the river with our homemade raft and like halfway drown like as she's doing it. I mean, I feel like this is karma coming back on you. Like, well,
Yeah.
Imagine how you'll feel later when you find out she can cast it. Okay, so she actually ends up dipping the raft down a couple times and splashing water onto the top. But since you have your waterproof bag, you don't think any of your gear got wet. I will need fort saves from everyone because the water is colder than 40 degrees.
Brr.
if I fucking die.
Cool.
Oh. Oh God.
Hypothermia.
Pretty poor rolls across the board there.
Yeah, not the
That's-
greatest. That's for
That's it.
sure.
Except for Zoo, the lone survivor.
She actually stays warm because she's spending most of the time flailing for her life.
Okay, hang on, just a second. I had to go out of the room.
Sure.
It's been the stupidest TPK if we die.
You don't die from hypothermia. You take non-lethal damage.
You
You
could
do it
drown.
in the middle of a
Yeah.
river.
Okay. So, the way we're going to do this, I think I'm just going to treat the swim checks as all the way across, because I don't want to do that a bunch of times. I'm going to say it takes you about 3 hours to cross, which is like a long time, but it is 1,000 feet across.
That's not. That's 3 football fields. I mean,
Isn't
it
your
would take
swim
a-
speed like 15 feet?
No, my swim speed's fucking ridiculous. Sorry.
Tell us, please.
My
Yeah,
swim
but
speed's
everybody
20
else,
my speed.
though.
Oh, that's true. But I'm dragging it. I'm dragging the boat.
Fair. That slows you down a fair amount, though.
That's true. That's true. Okay, so even still, like, if it's 30 feet, it would take 33 rounds. If it's 1,000 feet across, which is 200.
33
seconds?
times 6 divided by 60.
I would
3 minutes.
imagine an hour would be the most you could possibly.
It takes us
possibly
3 minutes to cross the river if we're going at 30 feet.
Yeah, it's
minutes,
not
not
that
bad.
far. Quarter mile
I was
is.
gonna say 3 hours sounds a little.
Oh, I don't know what I was doing math on earlier then. Yeah, so just
Yeah.
one fort save. You guys do all reach the other side, but
Some of us have hypothermia.
yeah, I think Leopold almost certainly has hypothermia from a nat 1. I think that just makes sense. But I'm gonna roll damage here.
I
Don't
cannot
worry,
get
guys,
my
it's
token
non-
from. Oh wait, no, I can just do it in the other.
Yeah,
thing.
everybody takes 4 points of non-lethal who rolled under a. It would be a 13.
Okay. All the non-elves.
Yeah. And then Leopold takes an additional 3.
Mine was a 29. If it makes anybody feel better. I rolled really well, and I have endurance too.
Well, as it happens,
resist.
Ilix's survival skills and preparation gave everyone an easier time surviving that check. So
Normally it would be DC 15, but he lowered
Yes.
it to 13, which still didn't help the non-elves.
that's actually an
This is-
aspect of survival, though, is that you gain +2 bonus on fortitude saves, and you can help other people
Oh,
with
that's
theirs.
cool. That's so cool. But yes, we are fatigued. Also.
Yes, everybody who took damage is fatigued, and
Does that go away
Leopold-
once we warm up, or is it? does it stay until we rest?
the penalties just go away when you recover from the non-lethal.
Okay.
Yeah. So once we get to the other side, like, once we haul everything up and everybody can get on shore, immediately Ilix will set about making a fire.
And Xenesis rushes over to the pile of stuff, the clothes that are in the boat, and shoves them on. Who is it? Leopold, to warm him up, and everyone else.
I think
too.
Flea, after bringing out his robes of water, goes and hugs Havelock to try to warm up.
Hauling himself from the frigid water, trembling with cold, Havelock turns to Xenesis and says, I think now might be a good time to finish our conversation.
Wait, Zoo, did you come over and hug me in order to give me body warmth?
Yeah. Well,
Did you-
I grabbed
or
all
are you just using me as cover to keep away from Havelock?
No. I am legitimately trying to help you. I grabbed all the clothes and piled it on you like laundry on a bed.
Still soaking wet. Alright. Thanks. I'll start putting it on, but boy, I really need a fire like right now. Hang
Yeah.
on. The second
Ilix is
you bring-
prepared for that, I think.
Yeah,
Ooh.
Ilix, when you bring back that stuff, I'll hand you a few doses of black powder to start off the fire.
Okay.
So it'll just be a nice, easy time to start around.
Yeah.
Not just spread it out. Don't put it in
Well,
one.
I mean, I could cast fire on the thing.
Oh, yeah?
Spark.
Oh, that works too, and saves me money.
Yep.
Mhm.
I mean, like Ilix said about doing it the old-fashioned way, so whatever.
But we have the
I think
convenience
that's
of spells.
Ilix's job, and Ilix has taken on that task, and you have taken on the task of tending to Leopold. So those tasks are happening concurrently. So
Mm.
Yeah, in between things, you probably like hear my
I
teeth
trust
chattering.
Ilix's ability to start a fire, as she's got dry wood, and
Yeah.
she's like the best at fucking survival.
Fuck
I think
this.
she's fine.
I can't wait. Flames of the faithful. Punch my burning sword into as she's like kindling sticks.
Or like a fucking like Dark Souls.
Like Inferno.
All right.
I look at
Ilix
Ilix and
is like startled and like almost terrified by what she sees, and kind of is like cowed a bit and
I
goes to put on
see
her regular
Ilix's-
clothes.
I see Ilix's like reaction to this, and I just put a hand on her shoulder and then like give her a hug and sign like thank you for everything.
Indeed.
Yep, she's all sopping wet and through like she wants to like say something, but like through like the fogging of her breath and stuff, she's just like nods her head and goes to put on her dry clothes, hopefully to find them still dry.
Yes, and
Yeah,
I
they're
sit
still
by-
dry.
I sit by the fire after I thank her.
Yeah,
And start warming up in this flames of the faithful fire.
yeah.
The fire of the faithful, really.
Yeah.
There we go.
Bonfire of the faithful.
Yeah. So Ilix will encourage everybody to, sit closely together to warm up, and definitely eat something, because like how long was the swim again?
3 minutes.
Only a few minutes. Literally took us like less than 5 minutes to cross the
I
river.
think we did
Oh, okay.
math weird because it should have actually been 10 rounds per minute. And if you're swimming 30 feet in a round, that means you can swim 300 feet in a minute. So yeah, it would only take you a few minutes,
So-
I guess,
So
to
yeah.
cross 1,000 feet.
1,000 feet is a
Yeah.
lot short. Like people
That's,
swim
well,
that
it's
all
like,
the time.
well, a quarter
Oh.
mile is like 1,200 something.
making
Yeah.
it a nice even 1,000 would.
Four football fields.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
It's really
that's-
not that wide for a river, though.
It's not that wide for a river, but it's a pretty good swim for people who aren't used to swimming.
Yes.
Stu, how fast could you swim
swimming-
300 meter?
300 meters. So see my 100 would be like a minute.
Oh,
So
so
300 would be 3 minutes.
a little
Yeah.
bit more than 3 minutes.
Yeah, but also swimming is like surprisingly taxing on the body if you're not.
Yes.
used
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna
Like-
say. Granted, I'm a trained swimmer.
Well,
and-
please,
Yeah.
please a train swimmer.
Okay.
But the rest of you aren't.
Trained swammer.
Yeah,
Whammer. Yeah.
I'm trained, and please train. I'm just not particularly strong. I just glide through the water like a rapier, though.
I'm very highly trained at swimming through the lies and deceit of my companions.
Oh. Okay, well, we all gathered by the fire because I can role play
Yeah.
this out now.
We're all
Mhm.
like shivering, and like Ilix is like stuck in between two people. I don't know who it is, but she's like right up on him and absorbing as much big
You
dude body heat
probably
as
between
possible.
me and Havelock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absorbing as much big dude heat as I can.
Yeah, the beefy ones.
I am literally lying next to the fire.
Yeah.
Xenesis, is there something you'd like to tell us?
Oh, I think today I'm really proud of everyone. Super
I'm
proud
discerning lies, for sure. I
Um,
already know your
she's
lies.
not lying.
I'm
Legitimately
super
proud.
proud. Yeah.
She's
Okay.
being deceitful, but she's not lying.
I'm disappointed in myself that I don't know how to swim as great as you guys, but I'm really grateful for everything you did.
Is there something? Is something going on? What? I don't.
Uh,
Yes.
I,
I don't think that
your pride of your teammates is what was making you all nervous before when I asked you about this.
Oh, well, okay. So, last night I was praying to Pharasma, and she told me some cool spells. I did
Such
some deep
as?
soul searching, and I decided on my own accord to not tell you guys because I saw how important this baby project was for Elix, and
Baby project.
so I decided to omit that I know how to do water walk.
From the side of the fire, you just start
And
hearing going.
That's a
like,
perfect response for your character.
well, like, cause like that's probably like after all of this and then just that, like I just look back and just laugh, like fuck it.
Zinnis's head is held in quite shame, very low, just staring down.
Felix is looking at you with this, like the what the, like her face is just sort of like fixed in this hybrid state between fury and complete bewilderment.
But did you guys see how much we bonded today? I'm really proud of all of us.
I think
Yes, at
that-
this moment, I certainly feel much closer to three of my companions.
I see how it is, Havlock.
Sorry.
You're on the floor. He's like testing the rest of us.
Yeah, we need to
I
put
was
him on
gonna say, I was like, what, Darth, what did you decide that happens physically to my character when I detect evil?
Your eyes go white.
Because I think at the moment she says that, there'd pause a beat, and then like my eyes would go white. I would cast Divine Favor, True Strike, Flames the Faithful, Defend. I cast all my spell slots on myself at one time, and essentially go Super Saiyan.
Because that's a response.
Yeah, Ilix will like lean over into plea as like you're lighting up like a fucking Christmas tree.
Basically like a fucking candle, like my own personal holy bonfire of fury.
The Super Saiyan 3 transformation scream that just goes on for 3.5 minutes.
I think as Zenesis is giving her confession, I'm like stuck between like looking at Zenesis, she makes this confession, and then looking at Ilix and like trying to gauge Ilix's reaction, because like I think I sense that Zenesis did this because of Ilix,
Yeah.
and
Well,
like
I
she
don't
made everyone else suffer, so that Ilix could do her pet project. So I'm like trying to gauge Ilix's reaction right now.
Well, in fairness, it wasn't a pet project until it became a pet project after. I guess I don't know that it actually was a pet project, but the project that I had invested a lot of effort into, my unnecessary project.
Yeah, well, like, because
But-
like, it's thanks to Ilix that we were able to cross the river. Because Ilix was like, oh, well, let's build a raft.
But,
Oh,
yeah.
let me build the raft. Oh, this is how we should go across the river. Oh, we should put our stuff in the bag to keep it dry. Is there any way we can do
Yeah.
that? And like,
And she
Ilix
doesn't
came
wanna
up with
shit all over your
all of
thunder.
this. And
Yeah.
nope, everyone's like,
In-
sure,
in
sure,
total
sure. And then
ignorance of-
Zenesis is like, oh wait, by the way, I can cast Water Rock. After the fact. So like I'm trying to gauge how angry Ilix is at this.
I think Ilix is too cold and shocked to like
Okay.
react much more than just sort of staring in bewilderment, and then will sort of like have this sort of like shocky look on her face, like she's just like staring into the fire with like her face is just kind of like is like completely
1,000-yard
relaxed. Her
stare.
yeah, like she's got a little PTSD from this. Yeah.
Okay. Go
I
ahead.
pull out the midwife card and I say, I suppose this would be the betrayal I was warned about.
Oh no. Oh.
I heard Tart in the back.
Yeah, that was
Just
coming from across the whole house.
Oh my god, that was the best. As Havelock is lighting up in Super Saiyan anger, I just look at Xenesis and sign, in the future, if you have a spell that could save us from possibly dying to hypothermia, it's okay to say, oh, I didn't realize I could do this until just now.
I'll remember that in the future. Oh, sorry, team, I let you down.
Be
And then
sure you do that.
Xenis just starts sobbing. We did such a good job as a team, I'm sorry.
God.
We wouldn't even have warm clothes if it wasn't for what she already did, so there's at least something, I say, between
Havelock-
like half fatigued chuckles.
Thank
Because I'm
you,
still just kind of like
Leopold.
curled up next to the fire, like on my side. Just like still trying to get over it.
Thank you, Leopold. Thank you. At least
I
you somewhat appreciate it.
You
think
see a single like thumbs up from like between my like crossed arms.
It's amazing.
I'm really glad also that everybody has different reactions that reveal layers of their character. Like, I really like that about this, but I think Havelock would... Roman candle would go off and all his buffs would fade, and he would walk over to fucking Elix, to Xenesis, and put a hand on her shoulder and say,
Kind of
I
shrinks.
promise, from here on out, you never have to worry about deceiving the team into thinking that you're too competent again.
Yeah. She
Do not invest anymore in that endeavor.
she looks up just ever so slightly through her hair that's just like covering her face like a sheepdog and says, "Thanks, Havelock." Just cringes more.
No, thank you, Xenesis, for this amazing team building experience. God, I wish I had atonement.
She tries not to smile because she knows it's inappropriate, and if she was smiling, it'd be because she was feeling very awkward.
Yeah, that would be an appropriate response.
Ilix just sort of like stands up and says, I need to go collect firewood. And just walks off into the forest.
Are we still in our bikinis?
Yes.
I mean, you could
Alright.
you put on your regular clothes. 'Cause they're
Yeah, we
dry.
put
Yeah.
on our clothes.
Yeah, I guess I'd take my wet boxers off, but probably, that'd be weird if I was naked and furious. I feel like that just wouldn't really,
Naked and afraid.
it's not a look I'm going for. All right, well, I finally figured out where the betrayal was coming from.
Oh goodness.
We've all
I-
learned
I-
something.
I look over at Havelock and I go, I think you might be giving these cards a reason, like you're kind of searching for it, I feel.
Well, I hope there's not more betrayal coming down the line, and there certainly won't be from this group, will there, Xenesis?
Yes, Havelock.
Excellent.
Through her tears and sheepdog look.
All right, I'm done. I wanted to roleplay that out as Havelock would. He got hypothermia from this.
No, he just got fatigued. Leopold was the only one that got hypothermia.
Oh, I thought he had hypothermia
Well,
too. I thought
No.
anybody that failed. Okay, we just got fatigued,
Fatigued and very cold, but not.
but still
not
really
dangerous.
cold.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah,
Leopold
I think
got
that's fair.
hypothermia, and he gave me a thumbs up.
He's also way more of a
Yes.
chill dude than Havelock.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
is. He's
This
not an
is true.
inquisitor of Pharasma. Like, yeah, he's a lot more of a chill guy. I also like that Like, I think it's a good sign that the characters provide foil to each other in different ways. If we
Yeah.
all had the same
Mhm.
reaction to everything, it'd be
That'd
pretty boring.
Yep. I actually liked that
Yeah, robot.
whole exchange. That was fun.
Yeah, me too.
So after you guys warm up and dry off, you are able to set off on the path again, if you are willing.
I think that we should, because we should probably
Yes.
head back down towards like where our stake is across the river, and then head back
Yeah.
down the path.
You
Yeah.
you find after you get up from the fire and this whole ordeal that you're actually right across from it. You calculated it almost perfectly by accident.
Nice.
Amazing. Then we continue down the path
Okay.
for a few hours, or however many hours we can. I guess.
Yeah. You.
Ilix.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say Ilix will take the lead once again, but is staying like a good 20 or 30 feet ahead of everybody else. That's the only, because
Okay.
she is not ready to unpack her emotions yet.
That's fair. After a day's travel, you arrive at Ascanor Lodge. At least that's what you assume it is, because before you is a immense structure. Let me see if I can find a description here.
While he looks up that description during our little trudging, like, I kind of like make a joke like, I've been away from home too long. Cold like that wouldn't have done anything. Just how long have we been a party? About 5 months or so? It feels like that.
It's been a while.
It's, but well, we were in Raven Grove for a month,
Yeah, you were required to be in Raven Grove for a month, so yeah.
and then a few days north to Lepistad,
And then we were there for
and
so
then
we'd be like
we
2
were
months.
there
Oh,
for
like
4
a
days.
week or so.
We were there
Yeah.
for 4 days. 'Cause we had
Well,
3
then the
days.
travel.
It's true.
But here's the thing. Then there's the travel from my homeland.
Yeah, well,
On top of that,
but I mean, and also to get here, we spent a dead week while Plea was training.
Yes. That's true.
We spent the time to go out to Karamark's place, so
It's
yeah,
been
I think
less
like a
than
month and a
2
half.
months.
Yeah, it's been a little less than 2 months, possibly almost 3.
Well-
3 would be pushing it, but
Yeah.
possible, depending on how long we waited and did stuff.
I could look up what the first day was, because
Not
oh right, you
important.
kept the month. Yeah,
yeah.
you kept the day of the month. Well, like,
I think this is day 47. Let me look at my notes.
which would be right at a month and a half.
Yeah.
Ish.
except for Ilix, aren't all of you native? Oh God, where are we? Ustalav?
Ustalavian? Well, you're not.
Actually,
Slavian.
Ilix is
Havelock
Slavian
is.
too.
I'm a native to Ustalav, but I'm sort of like sheltered. I'm like
in the
very
woods.
specific part of Ustalav.
Yeah.
Sheltered in the monster forest.
Yes. Also, my new
Technically,
band title.
If you, sheltered by the monster forest.
That's really good.
Well, it's just like everything back home. Everything was always cold. It's never not winter. It's just really weird. You're only gone like 2 months, and all of a sudden your body actually starts feeling cold again. When you spend 30 years there, it's hard to just not ignore it.
Things change on the road.
You don't say. This is the first time I've ever left here since.
Anyway, back where I was looking things up. My bad. It is a large and decadently appointed manor deep in the heart of the Shudderwood.
Wow, that description is just so.
They don't really have like a actual
Evocative.
description block, which is a little sad. I can tell you that it is mostly, it's kind of like a big log cabin. I can't really give you a very good description, but it's got like a. It almost looks like a theme park type place that's all log cabin themed. Like the fence is all made out of trees that have been stripped of their of their branches and just kind of hammered into the ground. So there's like the log fence, and then there's log towers, and the building itself is also just interlocking logs. It's just a bunch of logs.
Sponsored by Log.
It's all logs.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well,
But it looks like nice.
Well, I think we've arrived.
I certainly hope so. I signed to you.
You approach
Does
the
it-
gates.
Do we see like lights and things? Does like
Well, it's still daylight out.
okay?
I would
there's
say.
enough daylight that we can see.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, then yeah. I'll sort of put my bow on my back and approach.
Hey, who goes there?
Uh,
Oh, there are guards.
I look to my friends who can talk.
yeah, I'm okay taking the lead on this. Do we want to? Are we like being? I guess we're being obvious about who we are. However, we're going to get in.
Oh,
We
shit.
have
We're
invitation.
we're invited.
I feel like I
Um,
would have put on my nobles. Are we just?
Oh no,
Are we?
you're woefully underdressed.
Well, we weren't actually invited here. We have invitations, but they were for other people.
No, we
Oh,
can
I guess
ours.
Daramid can invite us.
She
that's
wrote
true.
you
Yeah.
invitations, but you are not.
Right.
You weren't like invited. They're not expecting you.
That's
okay.
a good.
Well,
Fair enough. Cell
weary
phones
Yeah.
travel.
assist.
So Ilix will shout out, "Weary travelers seeking lodgings. We bear an invitation."
Hmm.
But he seems surprised by that. Like no more guests are expected, and he kind of sticks his hand through a little window type thing in the fence and asks to see your invitations.
I look to whoever has the invitation.
I'll
It was
just say that
probably
I've
Havelock.
got it. Yeah, I guess she gave it to me because she and I had the closest bond, I suppose.
Until you didn't.
Until the doors.
Well, that didn't actually happen
Yeah,
in this timeline. That was part of the darkest timeline.
I just-
I want to play in the offshoot of that universe where we got canned and now we have to figure out how to infiltrate this place.
I do not.
Want to build another
Crooked
boat?
kin, of course.
Yeah.
Bunch
I'll
of freaks
produce
do
it,
stuff for us.
and I'll say we've been invited to recuperate here after aiding Judge Daramid in a trial, the trial of the beast in Lepidstadt.
I see. I will have to get these checked out. Wait here. And he goes wandering off somewhere to the east.
Can I sense motive on him? I mean, what was his?
You see a fire light up over there.
Yeah.
Little plume of smoke.
Yeah, a little like, yeah, like,
I'm just curious about like why is he so suspicious? Does he suspect us? Is he hiding something or?
Well, you would I think you would surmise that it's not his job to know the difference between a fraudulent invite and a real one. And so he's going to go fetch
okay.
whoever is responsible for that.
Ilix is going to sign to everybody that we don't know what to expect in here or even what this place is. We should all stick together as much as possible. I suggest we all keep our eyes open.
we walk in, it's like
Indeed.
fucking Willy Wonka in the chocolate
Right,
factory.
it might be literally fucking that we walk into. I have no idea.
Yeah, that's a good point. None of us do we?
As I said, I'm getting sort of a what do you call it? Fuck. eyes wide
Oh, who's
shut
this?
type vibe. Uh,
Look at this stately man.
oh
Oh.
my.
A short time
You are
later,
underdressed.
the guard returns with a short halfling man, who, for all appearances, may seems to be the porter of the lodge.
In an alternate timeline, isn't he dead?
Maybe this is what he was getting up to after the heist, but before he was murdered.
Okay. So anyway, that's what he looks like.
The many lives of
Okay.
Geffen Goldleaf.
Yeah.
He takes the invitations. Well, he has the invitations from the guard, and you see him looking them over before he sort of pensively hands them back to you through the fence. He says, "I'm sorry. I apologize for any misunderstanding, but as the porter of Ascanar Lodge, I cannot permit you entrance at this time. You do not have reservations in our books, and despite your claims, I have no evidence to justify allowing strangers into the lodge. From the looks of you, unlike the rest of my guests, you haven't come here for a peaceful retreat. I want no trouble, so off with you all, and take what other troubles you bring here somewhere else."
Did you not hear about the trial of the beast? Do you not? Our claims that
Well,
the judge sent us.
You're not
it
on our
doesn't
books?
have any kind of. How could we be? We beat the messenger here if they sent one at all. We had to cross a river for this. I'll lean down. I don't know where the. Wait,
we,
no, is he?
we didn't cross any river at any unusual crossing. We did this normal thing.
So, I go, gonna lean and go. We've been traveling for several days. We've come from Levistat. If you want, we could wait in an area you consider secure while you get a messenger, but that could take some time. We're not here for any means of harm. We are here to rest as compensation for helping Judge Daramid. We absolutely just want a roof over our heads for the night, as the past few days have been a little bit. Well, there's been something. Do you know of a giant worm thing that's in the woods?
Now
Well,
I can't say that I do.
Well, there's this giant worm thing. It tried to kill us all,
There was a giant worm thing.
and then we killed it. You're welcome. So if you could please, just a guest room or something.
I reach into my bag and pull out the bloody invitation that we found
yeah.
on the worm thing, and
That's a good
say
point.
we found and tell Leopold to
One of the-
explain that we found this on the body of
Mhm.
the giant worm, or on one of the corpses that the giant worm had eaten
one
or
of the-
something.
One of the victims wrapped up in its lair had this on it. We didn't open it, but we figured it was from here because it had the same seal.
Oh man, I hope they don't think we murdered.
That was my exact thought. Is like now,
Yeah.
now who
Sense
looks like they're
motive.
culpable?
Sense
I mean, he rolled
motive. You know,
nice diplomacy.
nice diplomacy. I'm completely telling the truth. Like, I just want a roof over my head. At the moment.
Oh man.
Yeah, I do want to feel out this. I don't do it.
Ooh.
I want to.
You're still just staring at Xenesis, like
Yeah.
out of the corner of your eye. You like overheard it and you thought for a second. You're like, no, the real murder is over here.
You got that salt spire eye hole.
Yeah.
God.
Do not fan that.
So,
Fan
Plea,
me.
you get the sense that this man seems, at first, slightly moved by Leopold's claims about helping Judge Daramid, and that being the explanation for your invitations, until he presents the bloodied invitation, and then he immediately looks suspicious of you all.
Which is understandable.
He takes it from you, and he says, Where did you find this?"
There's a tower about a day into the woods, some broken thing. We found it on a body that was wrapped in silk. It's buried now, but we're not really sure. We're not exactly sure if the person was coming or going from this place, but that's what we found on it.
I suppose it bodes well for you that you didn't break the seal.
I suppose so. Yes.
It said not to? We're trying to
wasn't
follow
for
your
us.
rules. We received invitations and came here.
He seems particularly upset when he sees the name on the invitation, which you would have seen was Echtmoor, I guess is how you would pronounce that. Echtmoor.
Echtmoor? Sounds like a name
knowledge
John
and
would make.
ability.
I
Ekmar is
pull
how
the
I would
group
say that.
aside and I
That's
kind of whisper to them, should we show him that symbol that Ilix found? The Whispering Way? Would that help?
No,
I don't.
Okay.
Sue, you would know.
Definitely
You would know
not.
that would
That
not
wouldn't
be a
help?
good thing.
Okay.
Whispering Way is bad people.
Okay. Never
Echtmoor,
mind.
by the way, sounds like something JonTron would name.
I see where you're going with that, but I don't know that this
I
is
think that
the
would take a
right
lot of-
juncture.
Yeah, that would take a. Would have the potential of making him believe, making us look
That we
even more
perfectly got-
suspicious.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, he'll
We're like,
either
"Hey,
completely reject us or he'll let us right in.
Yeah.
Like because
And then
like
murder us.
yeah.
Well, we just gave him a bloody envelope from a murdered guest. We have a
Who
legit
they were clearly
envelope
expecting.
that, but
Has no
one
substantiated
yeah,
evidence that
has
we
no
should be here.
substantiated claims, and if we also handed him some quote unquote found symbols of an unholy evil order, I feel like he could very easily jump to
It's
the
like a
conclusion.
crackpot walking
Yeah.
into Walmart and
Well,
giving you a
Yeah.
bunch of
While the
Mm.
halfling is kind of going over this, I look at the guard next to him and go, by the way, because I'm still shivering, by the way, I'm like, who the hell is making traps filled with bolts in the middle of the woods?
I can't speak to that, sir. I can only account for what happens on the grounds. I'm not sure that I. And right when he's kind of speaking to you, there is an interruption as a rough and tumble looking woodsman heads for the gate, followed by a young noble dressed in finely tailored studded hunting leathers. And despite
Tumbles the whole time.
there's actually like a group of people kind of gathering around here because this doesn't happen every day that strangers arrive at the gate and are arguing with the porter to let them in. So there's people like standing here that he sort of just pushes through, and they seem kind of oblivious to anyone else's concerns. And there's also several kind of scruffy-looking hirelings that follow behind them, leading a pair of horses and carrying wooden crates marked with heraldic symbols. And as soon as they shuffle past, well, they're actually going to come out the gate. Hold on, let me get their tokens. So it'd be him and
Delgros.
I
'Cause I
will
figured-
step aside and let them pass. but I
so this
won't
is
get in their
the
way.
rough and tumble looking woodsman.
Ooh.
Is he just like
Up
rolling the whole
Ilix
way? Is that...
alley.
Sorry?
That's not what rough and tumble means.
No.
What?
And this is the nobleman looking guy.
He looks noble.
Is he an elf?
Nope.
Without the ears.
He's half elf, probably.
Okay.
Maybe.
Look at that bow. He's half elf. He's trying so hard.
It's just it was the pokey ears.
could just be
and the long
cosplaying.
head.
So anyway,
Oh, like you were for like the first like three.
they kind of
Yeah.
shove past everyone, and the woodsman in the front calls back and he says, "For the last time, Durston, I'll take you there, but I ain't bringing my dogs." And he goes walking on into the woods and just sort of ignores you. The guy behind him, though, sees you all. Is anybody like wanting to recognize these folks with knowledge local or anything?
No, but I am going to
Local?
size up his equipment and see is this guy like pretending at being a hunter, or
Did not mean to roll that. That's what I meant to roll.
Oh, nice perception.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, no, you don't. The knowledge local doesn't recognize anything. These folks are unknown to you. But with those perceptions, you can tell that the nobleman, he's got a lot of like really nice equipment. Like his bow is finely crafted. His arrows look like they're pristine. You would not be unreasonable to come to the conclusion that he might not have seen much action, or at least he just has enough money that it doesn't show.
As he gets out here, I'm gonna like bow, not low, but like a little bit to show a sign of respect, because I can tell that this guy is much ado about something.
You there! Fall in line with me. I need more able-bodied swords for the hunt.
I will not be falling into any line now, sir.
I look at Ilix and Havelock and Zenesis and say, should we? I sign to them.
I don't see why. Will it
Durston,
get
was
us
it?
in?
Yes, that is my name. I am
You'll...
Master Werewolf Hunter, if I do say so myself.
And I suppose that after the hunt you'll be returning to the lodge here.
Absolutely, sir.
And as your helpers, your companions, you would certainly bring us in as your retinue.
He kind of glances over to Bellic. The guy who has the green border, the halfling. I guess you didn't know his name yet. He kind of glances over there with a smirk, and the halfling kind of rolls his eyes. And then Durston says, yes, I do believe I could use my great sway here to get you in.
Excellent. As it so happens, I have the finest hunting dog in the land.
Don't you dare look at Ilix.
No.
It's not gonna be Alex.
He pulls out a fucking Pomeranian.
I produced Poopsie.
What about Poopsie? I was afraid you were going to look over at Ilix, describing her as a hunting dog.
No.
He is
Then you hear just 3 arrows right in your side.
Did I say dog? I meant lady.
He's almost immediately taken aback by the presentation of this what he would probably consider to be just a pathetic animal. And he'll say, yes, I believe that bait would work quite well.
Don't be fooled by her appearance.
Oh, this keeps getting better.
This animal is ferocious.
Wasn't
Yes,
that there when
of
we were
course.
Fighting the Caimans?
I nod to Durston and sign to Ilix that I'll follow him if she doesn't mind translating. Because I'm embarrassed by Havelock and I don't want to be seen associating with him right now.
Yeah. Ilix will step up to... How tall is this guy?
He's
I'm just
relatively
curious.
tall.
He's not probably 6'4", though.
He might be.
Nah, he's probably not.
So she's gonna look down
He's
on
pretty
him,
close, though.
Not look down that much. She's going to fix him squarely and said, if you want hunting assistance, I will provide that, provided that I and my companions may enter the lodge.
I guarantee you I can get you into the lodge.
We have
And I will
invitations, they
guarantee
just
you
don't
your
seem to
quarry.
work.
One could question the purpose of attaining them at all, in fact.
Oh, they affect something. You just don't know yet.
How do you know so much about the plot,
certainly not
Durston?
being invited into the lodge.
Ilix will
fuck.
take her
God
her
damn
bow.
it! I hate that Ryan Walker just got ridiculous meta knowledge because Damn it. Anyways,
That's fine.
Yeah, so Ilix will say, if you can guarantee our entry, then I will guarantee your quarry.
Oh, you'll be going toe-to-toe then with my friend Delgros up there. Isn't that right, Delgros? Whatever you say, Durston.
Hmm.
Shall we begin?
Yep. I assumed you guys were talking as you were walking into the forest, to be honest.
Yeah.
Sure.
So you'll have some time to kind of talk to him, figure out where you're going and that kind of thing.
You say you're on the hunt for werewolves.
Yes, there was a party of well, wussies, I would say, but they were hunting a stag today, and when they came upon it, someone had flayed it open and left it for dead before they could get to it. They were so uneased by the event that they all came running back to the lodge. I am certain that a werewolf of some kind is responsible, and I will put the beast to sleep.
I'm just gonna remind Darp of my 31 earlier to look out for wolfsbane on our travels, because I feel
Yep.
like there might be some around here.
Perhaps,
I think you do find some, yes.
perhaps we ought to take a look at this flayed deer.
That's where we're heading, sir.
Excellent. Lead on, Master Huntsman.
He he seems like he was already really arrogant and full of himself, but that little fluffed his ego. Like you're now his favorite person.
Yes.
No, you're right.
Ilix is gonna.
Right where I
so-
want him.
Ilix
So
is gonna
Havelock
shoot a wink at
fluffed-
Havelock for the play.
Havelock fluffed this huntsman's quote-quote ego, and in return, Darp has now fluffed Havelock's ego.
Yeah.
Is everybody getting fluffed?
Havelock
You
and
need
Darp are
anything
apparently
else
getting
fluff.
fluffed right now. Also, probably Poopsie.
Poopsie is very fluffy.
Okay. So a little bit outside the gates of the lodge, they mount up and they start to trot in a westerly direction. And in a few miles, they reach the spot where the stag was found. The trail leads to a small clearing where the trampled ground and snapped brush show signs of a great struggle. The soil is soaked with blood, and more has splashed upon the trees' trunks and leaves. Despite all the telltale evidence, Delgras's jaw drops open and his eyes dart wildly around with shock at the situation, and he says, "It's gone! It's nowhere to be found!"
Maybe a cougar dragged
Body
it up a
didn't-
tree or something.
Okay.
I look over at
well,
Alex, who I'm like,
perception or survival? I think perception probably to find well, I guess I'd want to locate initially where the carcass was exactly to narrow down.
It looks like
my-
it was probably at the base of the tree. There's kind of like
Okay.
there's like a flat section that looks a bit like the corpse.
Okay.
Uh,
Then,
Perception, let's see, perception or survival both work. You see at least 2 sets of distinct prints in the clearing besides those of the stag. Frustratingly, most of them are only partial and are all badly trampled by other prints. So the most striking of all are large wolf-like prints, but twice the size of a typical wolf. And they have claws that would be longer than what you would expect.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
Let's see. I mean, that's supposed to be a knowledge nature check, but it's DC 13, so fuck it. You know that the tracks are not consistent with a normal lycanthrope or a hybrid. They seem to be more like direwolf tracks with strange elongated claws.
So
And the other set looks like the prints of a boar.
well, we have two sets of tracks here. One boar and one slightly larger. These appear to be not any lycanthrope, but perhaps direwolf? Oddly long claws, though.
What does Delias have to say about this?
He is already following some drag marks from the stag's carcass. And indeed, Ilix, when you find the boar's tracks, they're heading off in that direction. It looks like they may have dragged the carcass away. But Duristan interrupts your explanation of the wolf prints. And he says, no, it's probably a werewolf. Probably the Volensag tribe, I would imagine. They tend to change into large dire wolves instead of your typical lichens.
There are tribes of werewolves.
Yes, of course.
This man is a master huntsman. Don't question his judgment.
I didn't think he was questioning my judgment, dear boy. I do believe he's merely ignorant of the ways of the Shudderwood.
Oh.
Well, Ilix is going to proceed after these drag marks,
Okay.
along with Delgos or Delgros, whatever his name was.
Duristan.
Delgras is the other
collecting
fellow.
Whatever.
Oh, I see.
Whatever wolfsbane I find.
Sure. You find some. Enough to make one dose of poison, I guess.
Well, I'm trying to get like enough to, like seeds or roots that I can plant, basically.
Right. Oh, so you're looking for ones that have gone to seed.
Either gone to seed or I could just take the root of like the bulb.
Yeah. Sure, man. You find one or two.
Cool.
Even. Why not?
Sweet.
And with that, I think we'll actually wrap up here because it's pretty close to midnight. And when we resume, we'll find out what happened with the carcass and the boars and the werewolves.
Mm-hmm.
Dire wereboars who are also mages.
Perfect.
Could be.
It's a Borsaurus.
Oh my god, that was me.
Tanner, please
Yeah.
do not forget, you promised people that you would show them Danny Sexbang.
Oh, yeah.
It's very important.
It's very important.
Critical.